It's the Hyundai Leadoff Man Show. Now, here's Len Casper.
We are live from Wrigley Field for the Hyundai Leadoff Man here on WGN Sports. Bit overcast today. It's warm. The wind is blowing in, and we're set for the rubber game as the Cubs host the Houston Astros here on WGN. And hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the Hyundai Leadoff Man. The Cubs winners yesterday, 11-7. It was a wild day at the ballpark. Let's check in on all the highlights. And thankfully, unlike Monday night, no rain, no thunder, no lightning. Right on. Cubs got on the board early thanks to a good day at the plate from Mark DeRosa, who doubles to right, scoring Ryan Theriot and Derek Lee. Cubs leading early 2-0. Then in the second, Cubs up 5-1. Mark DeRosa comes through again, singling to plate Lee. Cubs were up big. Unfortunately, Rich Harden was not as unhittable as he had been in a Cubs uniform. He did, however, strike out 8, getting Pence, Quintero, Carlos Lee here on a nasty changeup, and then Jeff Blum. But in the 5th inning, Ty Wigginton with a leadoff homer off Harden. As the Astros started their comeback, it was 6-2 at that point. And then in the 6th inning, after a Hunter Pence single, Jeff Blum with a 2-run homer. That cut the lead to 6-5 Cubs. Bob Howry then facing Cubs killer Carlos Lee with first base open in the 7th. Pitches to him, caught too much of the plate. Lee puts the Astros up 7-6 with a 2-run blast. But then in the bottom of the inning, Kosuke gets the Cubs even again with a sacrifice fly. Darren Erstad, the catch, throw going to third. Reed Johnson scoring easily. 7-7. Then the big blow, Alfonso Soriano, a 3-run homer off Doug Brocail. And the Cubs back on top 10-7. They would add another run in that inning. And then in the 9th, Carlos Marmol closing it out. The final pitch of the game, he gets Hunter Pence for the strikeout. Cubs win 11-7 the final. Cubs now 3-2 on this homestand with the rubber game today. Off day tomorrow. The Cubs today finishing up a stretch of 20 straight games in 20 days. More on that and also the struggles of Bob Howry as we hear from manager Lou Piniella. But as we go to break on the Hyundai Leadoff Man, we'd like to recognize our Chicagoland Hyundai dealer of the game, Family Hyundai in Tinley Park, Illinois. Hyundai, the right choice. Log on to myhyundaichicago.com. We'll be back.
That ball's gone. A home run. Sox win. Sox win. Yes. Cubs win. They win it. Oh, baby.
It happens to every guy. While you sleep, your skin dehydrates. Prepare to defeat dry skin with new Gillette Dry Skin Hydrator and Body Wash. It combines a deep cleaning body wash with 3 times the hydrators for a powerful defense against dry skin. You'll step out of the shower feeling like you can take on the world. New Gillette 2-in-1 Dry Skin Hydrator and Body Wash. Unleash the power of your shower.
It doesn't come on a plate. You don't eat it with a fork. And you taste it with all 5 senses. Denny's new Sizzlin' Breakfast Skillets. Now breakfast sizzles all day long.
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla?
Our doctors are among the best in the nation.
Claire! I'm alive!
And we're the leading edge in diagnostics.
Well, either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
In our home, you don't just get better, you get the best.
And every employee takes pride in his work.
Planning on making it worth my while?
Scrubs, live 7 nights a week at 11 East, 8 West on WGN America.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man. Brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by your local Hyundai dealer. What a day for a Hyundai deal during your Hyundai dealer's Dollars and Cents clearance.
And welcome back to Wrigley Field. It's a Hyundai leadoff man. The Cubs maintaining their 5-game lead in the division. They won, but so did Milwaukee last night. The Cardinals winning in extra innings as well. Kind of a weird day for Bob Howry yesterday. Blew the save. He ended up getting the win as the Cubs scored the 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. But the home run he allowed, the 4th he has given up over his last 7 outings. And Lou Piniella knows that as a short reliever, sometimes it only takes one bad pitch.
Sometimes it only takes one mistake, unfortunately. Bob is he's a responsible person, and he works hard, and I've got confidence in him. I keep bringing him in there, and I'll continue to do so. He's been giving up. The home run ball has hurt him. Maybe he's just in a little bit of a unfortunate streak. Make a bad pitch and somebody pitch it, but yeah, he goes out there and competes, and he gives you everything he's got, and I expect him to have a pretty good finish for us. So
He talked about the bullpen maybe needing a rest. Would he be one of those guys?
No, I don't think anybody in particular. I'm talking about in general. You know, we've had some short starts here over the past week or so, and we've gone into our bullpen a lot. And we've had to use, for instance, a pitcher like Samardzija. He threw 40-some pitches the other day in a ball game. You got to rest him a few days. And when you rest him a few days, that means you're going to use somebody else. So 20 days in a row without a day off, and you get short stints from your starters, invariably your bullpen's going to show some effects from it. And we could use that day off tomorrow to get the group together fresh as a unit. Yeah, we're looking forward to the day off. Really are. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in the middle of the hot summer, we haven't had a day off since the All-Star break, and we've traveled, and yeah, that day off tomorrow will feel good. Hope we can win, enjoy it even more.
So the Cubs 11-8 during this stretch of 19 straight without an off day, number 20 today. Then they'll be off not only tomorrow, but then after the weekend series against the Cardinals, a travel day coming up on Monday. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the weather and the starting pitching matchup from Wrigley Field.
Breakfast as usual just went kaboom. Get ready for a breakfast so different you'll taste it with all 5 senses. Try Denny's new sizzling breakfast skillets for an incredible $5.99. Real breakfast 24/7.
When I got into college, I thought I was set.
I looked into every grant and scholarship.
The Feds hooked me up with a loan.
But I still came up short.
Then I got an Astros student loan.
An Astros student loan.
It's a loan just for students.
I borrowed exactly what I needed.
I even got to study in Italy, which I never would have been able to do.
It helped me pay for my new laptop.
My parents put their names on the loan too, which is cool because it'll save me money.
Forget high-interest credit cards. I'm making payments while I'm in school to save money later.
When your grants, scholarships, and federal loans aren't enough to pay for college, an Strive student loan lets you borrow the money you still need. Get your check in about a week, and you can choose to pay it back after you graduate.
With an Strive student loan, I don't have to stress out about paying for school.
And a Strive student loan. Learn about it.
If you still need more money for college, talk to your parents about an Strive student loan. Then go to astrive13.com to learn more or apply today.
On Thursday, August 7th, Dairy Queen's most magical treat will become even more magical because all proceeds from every Blizzard you buy help children in your Children's Miracle Network hospital.
The next next Chappelle Show makes headlines.
Dave has been downsized.
Dave gets taken over.
Nothing makes me happier than to be able to take another black actor's job.
Can Dave stop it? Can Dave fix it?
I'm gonna get my show back
on the next Chappelle Show.
Friday night at midnight East, 9 West on WGN America.
WGN America. TV you can't ignore.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs, and by your local Hyundai dealer. What a day for a Hyundai deal during your Hyundai dealer's dollars and cents clearance.
Today's Game Time forecast is sponsored by The Great Escape. Save on pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and everything you need for summer fun. Now the starting pitchers this afternoon. Right-hander Jason Marquis for the Cubs. He has lost 4 straight decisions, 8-5 lifetime against the Astros. Brandon Backey 1-1 with a .289 over his last 5 starts. 0-1 in 2 starts this year against the Cubs. So that'll wrap up the Leadoff Man Show. Guests of the Leadoff Man Show receive a gift certificate to Harry Carey's legendary Italian steakhouse, voted best steakhouse in Chicago. I think that's Bob Sitar, by the way. And he'll join me for the call of the series finale, Rubber Game. Cubs hosting the Astros. Next.
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare Supplement insurance card, too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
Who answered all my questions about Medicare Supplement plans, so I could understand it all. After I called, I was able to choose the plan that was right for me.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you from paying thousands of dollars out of your own pocket. These are the only Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit with all you need to enroll, so you can join the millions of people who've already trusted us for their Medicare Supplement insurance. Plus, we'll send you this free guide to understanding Medicare.
The prices are competitive. I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
and I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call now to get the free information kit. Plus, we'll include this free Medicare guide. And the advantages don't end there. You can choose from a wide range of plans that are all competitively priced, so you can find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. There are virtually no claim forms to fill out. And best of all, they're the only Medicare supplement plans endorsed by AARP.
When they told me these plans were endorsed by AARP,
I had only one thing to say. Sign me up.
Call now 1-800-592-0813 and let us help you choose the right plan. So call now 1-800-592-0813 and find out about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan. A personal health insurance advisor is waiting for your call.
Today, the Astros touch down in the friendly confines. Astros, Cubs, today at 2 on WGN America. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
While some Cub fans wear their hearts on their sleeves, now apparently you can wear it on your chest. And we are live inside Wrigley Field for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Rubber game today. Cubs finishing up a stretch of 20 straight games in 20 consecutive days as they host the Houston Astros. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brentley and Len Casper with you. The Cubs are off tomorrow. The Cardinals come in for the weekend. The lead in the division right now, 5 games over Milwaukee. And what a game yesterday. The Cubs blew a big lead. Then they came back. And when they need a go-ahead home run, they ask Alfonso Soriano to hit it.
He's had the knack for doing that this year. Of his 20 home runs, 8 of them have given the Cubs a lead in a ball game. You see the numbers with and without Alfonso Soriano. No question, with him in the lineup, it makes everybody else better.
Lou Piniella really has tried to give some guys days off to get them some rest. Leon DeRosa not in the lineup Monday, and look what they did yesterday.
That's one of the hardest decisions a manager has to make, when to pull the plug on a gamer like Derek Lee and Mark DeRosa. But when you have numbers like that after the off day, it's hard to argue with the skipper.
Number 5 starter Jason Marquis is going to pitch today. He has lost 4 straight decisions, but he hasn't been getting a ton of run support. That would be a big key today.
Yeah, last time out against the Pirates and Jeff Karsten, he was shut out. He gave up only 3 runs, gave his team a chance to win. Unfortunately, the offense couldn't get it going.
Brandon Backey will start for the Houston Astros. Now down to the field, Wayne Messmer with our national anthem.
Chicago Cubs public address announcer Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Wrigley Field Lowry organ, in the singing and playing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming. AM PM. AM PM. Too much good stuff. The Illinois Lottery. Play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Comcast. Proven advanced technology. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV. By Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer. And by Southwest Airlines. These don't fly with us. Visit southwest.com.
It was the golden age of television, so take a look back at the good old days with 4 classic shows. The Honeymooners.
You want to go to the moon? Do you want to go to the moon?
The Beverly Hillbillies.
That don't take the ham off the hog.
Bewitched.
I am a witch.
And I Dream of Jeannie.
Why did I not think of that?
It's Golden Oldies Week, all this week, starting at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
Bud Light is brewed to give you everything you want in a beer. Never-ending refreshment, superior drinkability, and now, the ability to time travel.
I'm gonna get out of here for a bit. No, I'm Matt. From the future.
A future witch! Get up!
The ability to time travel no longer available in Bud Light. The superior drinkability remains.
Bud Light keeps it coming. I'm not a witch. It's a text message.
I know.
My diet? Well, yesterday I had an apple turnover. Mm-hmm. I know it's sort of my weakness. I always keep it in the house. Well, that and Boston cream pie, white chocolate strawberries. Yeah.
And key lime pie.
Yeah. I've already lost some weight.
YoPlay Light with 14 delicious flavors at 100 calories.
Babe, what are you doing?
This is great.
Finally relaxing. Oh, boy, I really needed this.
Look at that. It's amazing.
Wow. I could stay here forever.
I'll be in the car.
Okay.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And today's Cubs broadcast from Wrigley Field on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is brought to you in beautiful high definition, sponsored by Comcast. And as we get started today, Bob, this is the 10th anniversary of the passing of the great Jack Brickhouse, the voice of WGN television from 1948 to 1981, the Ford Frick Award winner. He went into the Hall of Fame in 1983. And we honored Jack and the great heritage here at WGN Sports with our throwback game earlier this year. Hey, the home run call on both foul poles here at Wrigley Field. So let's check out the Astros starting lineup today. Kaz Matsui will lead it off at second base. Hunter Pence has hit an 11 straight. Lance Berkman 0 for his last 12. Carlos Lee with a huge season again against the Cubs. Blum's going to play short for Tejada today. Wigginton at third. Darren Erstad had 4 hits in Game 2. Quintero and Backey form the battery, 8 and 9 in the lineup.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively behind Jason Marquis. Brought to you by Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer. Soriano, Edmonds, Fukudome across the outfield. Ramirez at third. Ryan Terrio with a couple of walks, a base hit, 2 runs scored yesterday. Will be playing short. Mark DeRosa at second. Derek Lee over at first. Giovanni Soto behind the plate today for right-hander Jason Marquis.
And Jason is ready to work. And Matsui takes ball 1, and we are underway trying to even up his season record at 7-7. He has lost a season high 4 in a row. Second start against the Astros, got a no decision on April 5th here. And the Cubs 9-7 win, gave up 5 runs, 4 were earned in 5 1/3 innings. Popped up by Matsui, and Ramirez over in foul ground battling the sky a little bit. White clouds up there as Marty Foster will work home plate. Bell, Diaz, and Johnson on the bases.
This is another one of those hazy sunshine kind of a day. The sun was out brightly earlier, but a little bit of cloud cover right now. Ramirez does a nice job of battling that little pop-up.
Pence swings at the first pitch, and it'll be Kosuke over toward the line. He has it. Well, we know, Bob, about the greatness of Jack Brickhouse here in Chicago, but even on a national level, the year before Jack went into the Hall of Fame in '83, Vin Scully went in '82, the Ford Frick Award winner, and then in '84, Kurt Gowdy.
Pretty solid company, and that's right where Jack belongs.
His widow Pat is doing well. There's a strike on Lance Berkman, 4 for 31 against the Cubs this season. 0 for 1 yesterday, did not start. He is 0 for his last 12. And he hits a ground ball to the second baseman, DeRosa, who will throw to Lee, and that's the inning. Good start for Marquis. Cubs coming up against Brandon Backey of the Astros.
You just randomly
Jealous. What was that?
It's nothing. Yeah. Nothing at all.
Every sip gets you closer to clothing, vacations, millions of songs from Amazon MP3 and more. Sign up at PepsiStuff.com.
Goodbye, Mr. Made Up of Different Stuff guy.
Can I get a little help here? Hello.
Hey. We all upgraded to Verizon Wireless. Got push to talk and the reliability of the network. That old service is useless now. Careful. Cement.
Don't be the last one standing with another push to talk. Switch to the only one that comes with the network. Get these great deals when you activate push to talk on 5 business lines. Verizon Wireless.
Hey, Skip, need you in the wheelhouse.
Tenacious grip, no matter the conditions. Firehawk tires with Unity technology, only from Firestone.
Now the Cubs Pepsi lineup: Soriano, Terrio, and Lee, Ramirez, Edmonds, and DeRosa, Kosuke in right, Soto catching, Marquis pitching. Pepsi, every sip gets you closer, as we are set here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss by Soriano.
We'll look at the numbers for Brandon Backey on the season. Very similar in a way to Jason Marquis. They both give up better than a hit per inning. Backey maybe a little more of a strikeout pitcher, but
bat goes flying over Ty Wigginton, who picks up the ground ball and throws Soriano out. Man.
That's a technique that I think a lot of hitters would like to master. Break your bat, get the ball and the bat to go in the same direction, give that fielder something to think about. Pretty good concentration by Ty Wigginton to stay on that ball. Makes a nice barehanded play to throw on in time to get Soriano at first. Now, which one do you look at? The ground ball that's rolling at you that you should pick up, or the bat that's flying at your head that you should duck?
Tough choice. Strike one on Terrio. 7th in the National League with his .315 batting average. Nothing in 2.
Cubs just saw Backey on the 20th of July down in Houston. He gave up a couple runs in the first inning on an RBI double by Derek Lee, an RBI single by Jim Edmonds. Later a solo homer off the bat of Mike Fontenot. And in that ball game, Ryan Dempster, Carlos Marmol shut the Astros down on 6 hits.
Soft liner right at Matsui. 2 quick outs, and it brings up Derek Lee, who went 4 for 5 yesterday.
Yeah, Backey, like Marquis, he's going to give up hits. He's going to give up runs. He's really dependent on his offense to score some runs for him. He'll usually keep him in the ball game, but he needs some help from his offense.
Two excellent athletes on the mound. A couple of guys who absolutely can help themselves at the plate. Normally there's at least one easy out in the lineup. That would be the 9th spot, but that's not the case today. Marquis, in fact, pinch ran yesterday. Ended up scoring a run on the game-winning homer by Alfonso Soriano. Backey has the 2nd-best batting average among all pitchers, behind only Carlos Zambrano. Z is at .367, Backey at .314.
Couple of homers, couple of doubles, driven in 3 runs.
Quintero's giving Backey a lot of options. Where do you want it? Down, up? He chose the fastball up. He gave him every pitch and every quadrant.
You get to wondering if we're not getting near a point in baseball where you put a microphone, on the pitcher's shirt somewhere and a receiver in the catcher's helmet and just have him tell the catcher what he wants to throw. Of course, that would open up a whole new age of electronic espionage. Find what frequency the opposing team is on and monitor their pitches.
Backey ready for a 2-2. Tapper, Backey off the mound. He'll pick it up and throw out Derek Lee. Each team goes down in order in the first. 0-0.
Bud Light is brewed to give you everything you want in a beer. Never-ending refreshment, superior drinkability, and now, X-ray vision. X-ray vision no longer available in Bud Light.
Let's go somewhere else.
The superior drinkability, however, remains.
Bud Light keeps it coming.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Okay.
The power of pizza in a bite-sized snack. Totino's Pizza Rolls.
Pop-Tarts can't stand up to the delicious taste of toaster strudel. Pillsbury toaster strudel, the one kids want to eat.
It doesn't come on a plate. You don't eat it with a fork. And you taste it with all 5 senses. Denny's new sizzling breakfast skillets. Now breakfast sizzles all day long.
Last year, Expedia booked over 25 million trips worldwide. More trips than any other travel site. That gives you the power to get the best deal on the one trip that really matters. Yours. Expedia.com. And right now, you can get our best hotel deals yet. It's the Expedia half-off hotel sale. Get up to 50% off hotels, plus get $75 for free gas.
Becker, weeknights at 12:30 East, 9:30 West on WGN America.
Pleasant afternoon here in Chicago, 79 degrees. The wind coming out of the east at 6, so it is blowing in. And while the sun is not a factor right now as Carlos Lee takes a first pitch strike, we saw earlier Ramirez fighting the puffy white clouds. Doesn't really work very well against with a white baseball against that backdrop.
And you mentioned the wind blowing pretty much straight in from center field right now, but not so much that it should affect too much in this game, especially the big power hitters. They should be able to beat this wind today.
Inside on Lee. He hit the go-ahead home run for the Astros yesterday in the 7th, and then the Cubs came right back with 5 in the bottom of the 7th, highlighted by the 3-run homer from Alfonso Soriano. And checked the swing according to Wally Bell.
We know the kind of damage Lee has done against the Cubs in his career. Just a poor location on a fastball from Bob Howery that's straight over the middle part of the plate, and he is one of those big power hitters that the wind doesn't bother too much.
Leaves at strike 2. Good slider from Marquis and a 3-1 count. Now the sun is out. Ground ball to Ramirez. 1 away. Voting for the finalists in the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is going on now. Visit Cubs.com and help determine who you think should sing the 7th inning stretch at the Cubs game on September 1st. New videos will be posted daily, with each day producing a new finalist. So don't forget to keep visiting Cubs.com. Vote for who you think deserves the title of Ultimate Cubs Fan. Jeff Blum with a home run yesterday as he was spelling Lance Berkman at first base. Today he's at short for Miguel Tejada. He can play anywhere on the infield. One and one on the switch hitter. Make it 1-2. Wigginton on deck. The Astros without a base runner early on.
A sharp slider in the early going for Jason Marquis. Basically a sinker slider pitcher. He'll mix in an occasional curveball, an occasional changeup. And his go-to pitches are the sinker and the slider, both moving down.
And that last pitch looked like a split or a changeup. 1-2 on Blum. You see Soto wants this one down.
Blum hopping around back there trying to convince Marty Foster, the home plate umpire, that that pitch in the dirt caught him on the back foot. Get another look at it from this angle. Yeah, it's not even close. The wind moved his shoelace, but not enough to make you hop up and down in the air like that. That's a crafty veteran hitter right there behind in the count. He's trying to get on base any way he can.
Cued to third. This could be trouble. Just foul. Just missed the base. If it hits third, it's fair, and it just trickled wide of the bag.
A lot of English on that ball down the third baseline. Looked like Blum cued it right off the very end of the bat. Had a lot of side spin from our Southwest RoboCam. Ball spinning down that third baseline, heading closer and closer to foul territory, and just missed the corner of the base. Good decision by Aramis Ramirez. That was going to be a tough play if that ball stayed fair.
Ramirez will charge this time. Two outs, and here's Ty Wigginton. And we've talked about the lack of run support for Jason Marquis. They gave him 5 runs of support. He got a no decision against Florida on the 27th. But you go back to June 26th against Baltimore, and he didn't have a good day that day. He gave up 7 runs. Cubs scored 0 runs that day when he was on the mound. Did not score for him in a loss at San Francisco. Didn't score for him again in his next start versus the Giants. Gave him 1 run in a 9-2 loss at Arizona. And then in his last outing against the Pirates, Cubs lost 3-0. Lined to Soriano, and it's going to get over his head. And Wigginton's going to end up at second base. So that liner took off on Soriano, who misplayed it, into a double.
Always the toughest play for the outfielders. That line drive hit right at you. Fonzie fooled a little bit by how hard Wigginton hit this ball. That thing just continued to take off, got over his head all the way to the vines for a double.
So Darren Erstad coming off his first 4-hit game since 2004. As he gets the nod again in center with Michael Bourne day-to-day with the ankle injury. Off the plate inside. So for Erstad, this is his 10th consecutive start in center. The last time he had at least 4 hits in a game, he was still with the Angels 4 years ago. Ball 2. Might see Marquis now be pretty cautious against Erstad. With a 2-0 count, you have a hitter on deck. Quintero is hitting just 194. 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, occasionally in this situation, even though it's only the second inning of the ball game, you'd see Giovanni Soto come up out of his crouch and go ahead and signal for the ball 4 wide. Send Erstad on down to first base and start over again against the right-handed hitter. Erstad taking all the way on the 3-0 pitch. He'll be hacking at this one if it's close. That's another thing that shows up on the advanced scouting reports. Which guys swing at 3-0 pitches, which guys are aggressive in 3-1 counts.
And he does offer at it, and he hit it foul off his foot. The Astros watched their 4-game winning streak come to an end yesterday. They've still taken 7 of their last 9. They're in 6th in the wild card, 8 games back of Milwaukee, and the Brewers are playing in Cincinnati, leading 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Suppan and Bailey, the starting pitchers in that one. And Homer Bailey is out. He gave up 6 runs in 5 1/3. Ground ball, and nice play by Marquis. He'll underhand to Derek. And it'll be Ramirez, Edmonds, and DeRosa coming up in the bottom of the 2nd. We're scoreless.
Notice how digital's made pretty much everything better, especially television. Digital TV's got better picture, better sound, more channels. In fact, digital's so much better that by law, all broadcast TV has to be digital by 2009. But there's a catch. Some TVs need an upgrade to get digital. You could even lose your signal. Get the facts. Visit dtvanswers.com to learn about television switch to digital. Or call this number to see how you can stay connected.
It was the golden age of television, so take a look back at the good old days with 4 classic shows. The Honeymooners.
You want to go to the moon? Do you want to go to the moon?
The Beverly Hillbillies.
That don't take the ham off the hog.
Bewitched.
I am a witch.
And I Dream of Jeannie.
Brilliant. Why did I not think of that?
It's Golden Oldies Week, all this week, starting at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
Flush out the old, pour in the new. Get Advance Auto Parts 50/50 antifreeze for just $6.98 a gallon. Sale ends August 30th. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Is it mathematically possible that such a huge treat is just $2.49? If I only had a brain. The Peanut Buster Parfait from Dairy Queen. Creamy DQ soft serve, crunchy peanuts, and hot fudge for just $2.49.
Reno 911, Friday night at 1 East, 10 West on WGN America.
Now let's meet today's Walgreens celebrity bat kids. 9-year-old Samantha Terlecki from Plainfield, Illinois. Tyler Rivera, 11, from Bolingbrook. Having a great day at Wrigley thanks to Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Go to WGNradio.com for more information on how your kids can become our Walgreens celebrity bat kids at a future game. Big swing by Aramis Ramirez. And happy 10th birthday to Samantha, one of our Walgreens celebrity bat kids. Samantha Terlecki from Plainfield. They got a chance to listen in on Lou Pinella's media session. They were sitting about 5 feet from the Cubs managers. He talked to the media. And I heard one of them say, "Why is everybody sticking those microphones in his face?"
Welcome to the big leagues.
That's what we do. 2-1 on Aramis. Going with the shades today. Inside 3-1. He has 19 home runs, 29 doubles. When he gets one more of each, he'll become the first Cub to have 20 homers and 30 doubles in 5 straight seasons since Hack Wilson did it from 1926 to 1930. Pence from right coming on to make the catch. Only 2 Cubs have had 5 or more years with 20 homers and 30 doubles. Hack Wilson did it 5 times. Billy Williams did it 7 times. 63, 64, 65. And then did it again in 3 straight seasons from 68 to 70. And finally in 1972. Jim Edmonds will end up with at least a single on this one. Pence will go get it. Edmonds on his way to second base, and it's an easy double. 15th two-base hit for Jim Edmonds. 410 in his career.
A lot of topspin on that line drive. Jim Edmonds, a good high ball hitter. He sees that pitch up in his eyes. Gets out and around it, hooks that ball down into the corner. See, Hunter Pence has been the busiest man on the field in this series. The Cubs have hit a lot of balls down that right field line, on a line, some bloopers, some long fly balls. They've kept the Astros right fielder busy in this series.
Breaking ball, strike 2. Mark DeRosa, who had 3 hits, including 2 doubles, knocked in 3, scored a run. On Tuesday afternoon, he committed an error early on a throw from the catcher, Henry Blanco. Looked like they had Jeff Blum nailed as he was trying to steal. As Lee will have to chase it down, and Edmonds is going to score. DeRosa with 4 RBIs in the last 2 days. Cubs are on the board, 1-0.
Well, that was very similar to the Ty Wigginton line drive to left field. Mark DeRosa just squared that one up on a line to the gap in left center field. The ball carries all the way out to the edge of the warning track. 1 hops off the vines. Edmonds scores easily. Cubs on the board first.
And getting on the board at all has been a good sign. And you have to get on the board to win.
It helps.
But the last 10 games when the Cubs have scored at all, they've won 8 times. They're 8-0. The 2 losses, they were shut out. So what we can deduce from that is scoring is good.
Scoring is a good thing. Scoring early is a really good thing. Force that other team to play comeback baseball the rest of the afternoon.
Cubs have not lost since July 10th, almost a full month, when they have scored at least 3 runs. Says a lot about the pitching. Just give us something and we'll make it hold up. Outside corner. 2-1 on Kosuke. Hitting .323 at home, but he's just 1 for 14 on this homestand. Kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Soto on deck. Back-to-back doubles with 1 out, putting the Cubs on top. Edmonds with a double, and he scored on the two-base hit by DeRosa. Off the end of the bat and slicing out of play.
We were joking a little bit about our Walgreens celebrity bat kids and the microphones in Lou's face over there in the dugout every day before the ball game. And really, Lou Piniella is the only one who is required, not really required, but expected to talk to the media before and after every ball game, with the exception of Kosuke Fukudome, because of the large contingent of Japanese media that follow the Cubs. Kosuke is the one player who has to sit and answer the questions every day. Now, there have been a handful of occasions when he's asked out.
Pence coming on, and he's out. So Kosuke making the second out of the inning.
I mean, you wonder if maybe that's not taking somewhat of a toll on Kosuke. I mean, even on days when he doesn't do anything in the ball game, maybe he goes 0 for 4, doesn't have any plays in right field, he's still expected to sit and answer questions for 15 or 20 minutes, sometimes about what he had for lunch, how'd you get to the ballpark, how's your batting helmet fit. I mean, it's a very small thing, and it isn't physically taxing, but it's something that Kosuke goes through every day that none of the other Cubs players have to.
Lou has given him some off days to make sure he's getting enough rest. He did tell reporters recently he doesn't think he's been overdoing it too much during his pregame routine. Remember, he had the calf issue that bothered him a little bit in late June, but it feels good now. The 1-0 pitch to Soto is low and outside. And he also talked about speaking to the Japanese reporters is comforting to him because he's able to speak Japanese. But like you said, there are times where maybe he's tried to pick his spots and give himself a little extra rest. But he still leads the National League in pitches per plate appearance with 4.31. That's the good. The bad has been we've seen more strikeouts. And he's gone through a couple of slumps at the plate. The defense has been there all season. That's been consistent. 3-1 on Soto.
The defense and the base running, the daily effort, the fundamental soundness has been there on a daily basis. It's like to see that bat come back around the way it was early in the season.
Soto swings and misses. It's 3-2. The pitcher Marquis is on deck. 1-0 Cubs here in the last of the second. Payoff pitch hit hard to foul.
This is that situation that will light up the message boards. Do you pitch to the number 8 hitter with a pitcher on deck and 2 outs in the inning, or are you better off walking him and going after the pitcher? Granted, Jason Marquis is a good hitter, but certainly not in the same classification as Giovanni Soto. As a manager, I always felt it was appropriate to go after that number 8 hitter unless he was in a really hot streak, and if he was in a hot streak, he probably wouldn't be hitting 8.
And I think the one thing, Bob, that's different about this spot is Giovanni Soto is probably better than just about every 8 hitter in the entire league.
Of course, the upside, if you're the Astros, if you can retire Giovanni Soto, you have the pitcher leading off the next time around, and that's always a desirable situation, regardless of who the pitcher is.
Well, the sequence began with a 3-0 count, but then Backey got back in it. And here's another 3-2, and that time he walked him. First walk given up by Backey. So it's now in the 7th. And a big day for Ricky Weeks. 4 hits, a couple of RBIs, and a run. So Milwaukee trying to make it 2 straight since that dugout altercation between Prince Fielder and Manny Parra a couple of nights ago. Hit foul by Marquis. 3 career home runs. The 0-1 pitch, big swing. And hit that foul off himself somewhere. 0-2.
Trying to walk it off a little bit. You're not so concerned with Jason Marquis' physical problems at the plate, but you wonder what effect fouling a ball off his foot will have when he goes back out to the mound to start pitching again.
Rich Harden yesterday with a bunt single in the 2nd inning, and Rich would eventually leave after 5 2/3, mainly because his legs were tired. He came around to score after that bunt hit. As Berkman will catch it in foul territory, the Cubs get on the board first. It's 1-0.
WGN America, your summertime home for baseball.
Like the ad says, there's hardwood floors throughout.
Nice.
Hey, you want a Bud Light?
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. By splitting the rent, there's more money for Bud Light.
Great.
Ready to see your room?
Yeah.
Hey, roomies, say hi to Brian.
The thing is,
make yourself at home.
Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
That chili is not sitting well.
The hotter the hot. The colder the cold. The greater the demand. The more you need Duralast. Batteries built to exceed the need. Batteries built to meet or exceed original equipment standards for cold cranking amps. Batteries built with the power to hold up to heavy electrical demands. Batteries so good they come with a coast-to-coast warranty. Built to last. Only at AutoZone.
Hey, check it out.
What is it?
It's a cereal aisle.
Everything on this side is made with whole grain.
Not every cereal is made with whole grain. But every General Mills Big G cereal is. Guaranteed. And it's there on every box.
Lucky Charms.
Honey Nut Cheerio.
Get your whole grain guarantee with General Mills.
It's making me hungry.
Scrubs. Live 7 nights a week at 11 East, 8 West on WGN America. Keep your eyes here.
2008 Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime. Bud Light keeps it coming.
Cubs got a run in the bottom of the 2nd inning to take a 1-0 lead, and Jason Marquis has allowed 1 hit through 2, but no runs. Jim Edmonds with the Cubs' first hit. He doubled and then scored on the DeRosa RBI double. Quintero, Backey, and Matsui. And the catcher bunting. How many times did you do that for a hit?
You know, I used to get about 6 or 8 bunt base hits a year. I was a dead pull hitter. The third baseman usually played me way back. It wasn't that I had blazing speed, but boy, if you could deaden that ball on the third base side of the field, especially leading off an inning, it could possibly set up your team for a big inning. I found it to be a pretty useful weapon, especially when I was mired in those 1-for-31 slumps.
Deep to right, Kosuke catches it. Boy, very similar to the ball that got past Soriano. A little misplay by Fukudome, but he was just able to get back and make the catch.
You know, Len, I've described the winds here at Wrigley on occasion as very thin winds. I think that's what we have blowing today. That ball really took off. Great athletic play by Kosuke Fukudome, going straight back, reaching up high over his head to make a running catch. Now, that wind has had very little, if any, effect on batted balls to the outfield in this game so far.
Here's Backey, and he takes a strike. Well, you mentioned the start he had against the Cubs on July 20th in Houston. The Cubs won that game 9-0 behind Ryan Dempster and Carlos Marmol. Dempster went 8 shutout innings. But the key sequence in the game, the Cubs led 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th. And the Astros had the bases loaded. Dempster struck out J.R. Tolles, and then remember he caught Backey looking. Backey was really upset. And then Dempster got Matsui to foul out to end the inning as the Astros were trying to get back in that ballgame. So you look at Backey's line, he gave up 4 runs in 6 2/3, but it was really that key moment at the plate that turned around the game. Two balls, 2 strikes. You can tell he knows what he's doing at the plate. He doesn't swing like a typical pitcher.
A typical pitcher, and you hate to generalize, but most of them kind of drag the bat through the strike zone. There's nothing really quick about their swing, but Backey waits on the ball just like a hitter. Very quick swing when that ball gets into the hitting area.
Marquis winds a 3-2, pounded on the ground to third base. Ramos has been busy early on, and he makes the play, no problem. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Take a look back at the good old days with 4 classic shows. It's Golden Oldies Week, starting at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
Here's Kazuo Matsui, 3-time stolen base champ. In Japan, 7-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner. He was a shortstop in Japan, but then really struggled at that position in his first year in the major leagues with the Mets, and then was switched to second base. He was the Pacific League MVP in 1998.
Mitch Ramirez has been busy in the early going of this ball game. 3 ground balls have come his way. Another tapper back to the mound, a ground ball to second. That's a good sign for Jason Marquis. When his infield is busy behind him, it means he has good movement. He's keeping that sinker down.
Edmonds drifting back on this ball, trying to get there. Can't make the play. It hits the track and bounces over. You don't see it that often in this ballpark. Edmonds tried to make a funky catch as he was battling the sun a little bit, and Matsui will end up with a ground rule double, or the automatic double.
We'll have to ask him after the ball game as we get one more look at the pitch that's up in the zone, middle of the thighs. Matsui gets some elevation to straightaway center field. It looked to me like when Edmonds looked away from the ball to see where he was, he didn't pick it up when he looked back up into the sky. He was close, but not close enough, and that ball just does get up over the basket for a ground rule double. There he looked away, and when he looked back up, he had to kind of stutter step. I don't think he saw the ball quickly enough to get to the spot he needed to be. Get me going on the shades again. You know, we've got a functional piece of equipment that was designed for one purpose only, and very few players use them anymore. The flip-down sunglasses.
And we see Alfonso Soriano with the flip-downs just about every day. Pence batting, ball 1. He uses them a lot.
Well, I can understand on a bright sunny day with no clouds in the sky, no chance to have any kind of shade and bright situation, and then you put the wraparounds on and you leave them on all day. But on a day like this, when the sun is peeking in and out behind the clouds, those flip downs are exactly what the doctor ordered.
Outside 2-0 on Pence. Pence hit 5th Monday night, With Berkman out of the lineup yesterday, he hit third. With Berkman back and Pence on an 11-game hit streak, he's up to the 2 spot. '15th time he's batted second here in 2008. 3-0. We know Marquis is not working around Hunter Pence because Lance Berkman is 19 for 40 in his career against Marquis.
Pence is one of those intriguing guys too, Len. I'm not sure where he's best suited to hit in the lineup. He has good speed, but he's not a good base stealer. Only 7 out of 15 on the season. He's a very aggressive free swinger. He doesn't take a lot of base on balls. He doesn't work very many deep counts, but today finds himself in that 2-hole in the lineup.
The 3-1 is in there, 3-2. You don't always know when the critical junctures are going to take place in a ball game, but I have a feeling this could be one of those moments. With Berkman on deck, Matsui keeping the inning alive with a double, and the Cubs leading 1-0, and he had gone 3-0 on Pence. A long look by Marquis. Gets a sign from Soto. The kick and the pitch. There's ball 4. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Cardinals this Friday. Game time 1:20. But be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 adults will receive a 20th anniversary first night game replica Cubs cap. Compliments of Anheuser-Busch.
Only the 25th base on balls this season for Hunter Pence in 425 at bats.
Berkman batting with 2 on and 2 down, and he fouls it back. This game can be a little tricky when you look at box scores and you try to find when those big moments are, because if Marquis had gotten Pence, no matter how the game plays out, you would have looked back at the 3rd inning and you probably wouldn't have been able to find that, quote, critical juncture. It's easier to find it now because he's facing Berkman. When you avert crisis, sometimes you don't even go back and say it was a big moment until somebody reminds you, oh, by the way, remember when you were 3-0 on Pence and you came back to get him?
Big moments in a baseball game, especially a close game, tend to evolve very quickly. The situation presents itself, it's resolved one way or the other, and then you move forward to the next big moment.
A 1-1. Big pitch. 1-2. Well, even though Berkman has gotten Marquis a lot in his career, Jason's facing him during one of Berkman's rare slumps. I think we were in a freeze frame there for about 3 seconds. Neither the pitcher nor the batter was moving an inch.
The only thing that was moving was Giovanni Soto's fingers behind the plate. Couldn't find the right sign for Jason Marquis with a runner at second base. Had to go through the entire sequence 3 times.
Here comes the 1-2. It's outside. Marquis working hard to get out of this 3rd inning. 2-2 to Berkman. Base hit to right. Here comes Matsui. Kosuke's throw is going to go to 3rd. It's late there. Pence is in. Matsui scores, and Berkman just snapped an 0 for 13 to make it 1-1.
With the good hitters, you hope to contain them throughout a 3-game series and let them get hot against their next opponent, but Lance Berkman, you can't hold him down very long. It's a hard ground ball through that right side of the infield. Kosuke was playing very deep, respecting the power of Lance Berkman, and really didn't have a play anywhere. Throws to third base, but Pence is safe there easily.
If you can believe it, that was his 33rd at bat against the Cubs this year, and that was his first RBI. Number 77 overall in the RBI department for Berkman. Carlos Lee, on the other hand, with 4 homers and 11 knocked in against the Cubs. It's 2 strikes.
Boy, that's always concerning to a manager when you look at the advance reports and the other team's premier hitter, whether it be Albert Pujols from St. Louis or Lance Berkman from the Astros or Nate McLouth from the Pirates. When he's been in a slump coming into your series, that's always a little bit of a concern, because good hitters are going to be good hitters and they will break out at some point.
Carlos Lee sends it deep to left. Soriano has no room. He has done it again against the Cubs. This time on an 0-2 pitch. So it's 4-1 Astros.
About those pivotal points in the ball game for the Cubs. Every time Carlos Lee steps into the batter's box, it's a pivotal point in the ball game. That's how hot he's been against the Cubs this year and throughout his career.
Blum hits a ground ball. Nice play by Lee. Marquis gets over to first, gets a perfect feed from Derek, and that finally ends the inning. So Berkman and Lee get a chance because of the walk to Pence with 2 outs, and they made him pay 4-1.
Somebody. You just randomly out.
You were so jealous. What was that?
It's nothing. Yeah, nothing at all.
Sip gets you closer to clothing, vacations, millions of songs from Amazon MP3 and more. Sign up at PepsiStuff.com.
Goodbye, Mr. Made Up of Different Stuff guy.
Last year, Expedia booked over 25 million trips worldwide. More trips than any other travel site. That gives you the power to get the best deal on the one trip that really matters. Yours. Expedia.com. And right now, you can get our best hotel deals yet. It's the Expedia half-off hotels sale. Get up to 50% off hotels, plus get $75 for free gas.
Can I get a little help here? Hello. Hey. We all upgraded to Verizon Wireless. Got push to talk and the reliability of the network. That old service is useless now. Careful. Cement.
Don't be the last one standing with another push-to-talk. Switch to the only one that comes with a network. Get these great deals when you activate push-to-talk on 5 business lines. Verizon Wireless.
Breakfast as usual just went kaboom. Get ready for a breakfast so different you'll taste it with all 5 senses. Try Denny's new sizzling breakfast skillets for an incredible $5.99. Real breakfast 24/7.
WGN America. TV you can't ignore.
Well, let's see if the Cubs have another comeback in them. They've done it a lot this year. They trail 4-1. And Soriano takes a breaking ball low and outside. The fans in the left field bleachers getting on Carlos Lee a little bit.
32 times this year the Cubs have come from behind to win a ball game.
Well, Lee doesn't just do it against the Cubs. We talked about him during the Houston series. He probably isn't talked about enough as far as being one of the elite offensive forces in this league. 3-1. I don't know why the Rangers didn't just keep him.
Well, we'd prefer to have him in the American League.
And of course, when he was in the American League, the Cubs still saw him 6 times a year because he was with the White Sox. You can't get away from him. Three and 2 on Soriano. Cubs trail 4-1. The pitch from Backey and another foul will do it again. After Soriano, it's Ryan Theriot and then Derek Lee. Popped him up. And Matsui battling the sun, but he has it. There's no better place for Cubs fans to hold an event than Harry Carey's Italian Steakhouse in Chicago, Rosemont, or Lombard, or Harry Carey's Tavern here in Wrigleyville. Call 773-HOLY-COW or visit harrycareys.com to plan your event today. Theriot lined out to second in the first inning. Backey's 0-1 pitch. That's ticketed for right.
How many times have we seen this past couple of years from Ryan Theriot? Pitch on the outer part of the plate, just poke it through that right side of the infield. Well, that's just good discipline, knowing what your own strengths are, knowing where the holes are in the defense and what you can do with a particular pitch. And it seems like Ryan Theriot can do that at will. That pitch away from him, he just drives it through the right side. Hits by direction up the middle of the field in the opposite way. Just enough to left field to keep the defense honest.
This is career game 1,498 for Derek Lee. Not too far behind in hits. 1,492. So nearing 1,500 career hits. Not that great at history, but 1492. Christopher Columbus, right?
Sailed the ocean blue.
Pulled foul. Look out. If you missed the game yesterday, Kerry Wood was activated from the 15-day disabled list. He had the finger blister, and he did pitch in the ball game yesterday. A scoreless 8, gave up a hit, no runs. And to make room for him, left-hander Scott Air was designated for assignment. And don't forget to check out our WGN baseball blog. I'll write about Scott Air. It's at WGNTV.com. Click on the sports link. Look for Len and Bob's baseball blog. Also, game notes from our friends at Stats. Our new Baseball Buddy feature and a link to our current podcast. Scott was great to us And we wish the best to Scott and his family, and depending on what was going to happen here over the next couple of days, he is planning on driving his RV back to Florida. So safe travels to Scott Air.
I have a feeling he may be requested to show up somewhere quicker than that. He may have to fly somewhere and put on a new uni and start pitching right away.
Jim Hendry said it best. The better you are as a team, the tougher the decisions get when it comes to your roster. This is Pence out in right. 2 gone.
Perhaps a little frustration from Derek Lee there. Got fooled a little bit by a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Cued it off the end of the bat, popped it up to right field. See the difference in approach from Ryan Theriot to Derek Lee. Derek Lee's a run producer. He's a guy that's used to driving the ball to the deepest parts of the outfield, especially pulling the ball when possible. Ryan Theriot is not a guy that goes to the plate and looks to drive the ball deep into the outfield. He's just kind of peppering the ball around wherever he sees the holes in the infield, and depending on what the pitcher gives him to work with. Derek Lee's trying to do damage with every swing. He wants to drive that ball either out of the ballpark or into a gap somewhere to drive Ryan Theriot home from first base. Completely different approach.
1 strike on Aramis. I just don't remember Derek being as streaky as he has been throughout this 2008 season. His great stretches have been incredible. And he's gone through some extended slumps. Now, he had 4 hits yesterday, but already frustrated this afternoon with his 0 for 2 start. And a short fly out to right.
You know, and for most players, it's not so much a fact they're disappointed with the results. They're disappointed with their own approach. Either they swung at a bad pitch, or they saw that the pitch wasn't going to be good, but they couldn't lay off. It's not so much the result, a pop up to right field. It's the fact that Derek Lee thinks he probably could have gotten a better pitch if he lays off of that one.
Well, in spite of his streakiness, when it's all said and done, I think his numbers at the end of the year, and they already do, look very Derek Lee-like. 1-1 on Ramirez. Came in at 295, talking about Derek. 17 homers and 69 RBIs. Outside. But Bob, this lineup has been good enough to the point where you haven't needed a career year from anybody. You've needed really good seasons. I guess the one career year so far, because he hasn't been in the majors that long, is Giovanni Soto. But among the veterans, guys are having really good years, but I guess Ryan Theriot would be the one guy, but again, he hasn't been in the majors that long. But, you know, Ramirez, Lee, Soriano, Jim Edmonds, Mark DeRosa, they've all been really, really good, but you can't say one guy's been playing well above his head all season.
But you are getting some career years from guys on the pitching staff, which
no question
allows you to have that kind of a year where nobody really is off the charts having a career season offensively, but you still find yourself in first place. Sitting 22 games over 500 going into play today. When you've got a pitching staff that can allow you to go through some of those dry periods of the season and still win ball games, you don't need career years from your offense.
And I think it's almost, in some ways, a positive sign that this team has been that good and hasn't required one guy to carry the entire team for any length of time. Tying run at the plate. It's Jim Edmonds after Ramirez walked. Swing and a miss. Just got a piece of it. Actually, it was a foul tip, as Quintero was able to catch it. Cubs lead the National League in runs. They lead the major leagues in on-base percentage. Tops in the NL in slugging. 5th in home runs. Coming in, they have outscored their opponents by 132 runs. That leads the majors. Boston next on the list, plus 101. Backey's 1-1 offering is outside. Gerald Perry, the hitting coach, has to take a lot of credit. This team has been extremely patient the entire season. I'm sure Gerald would be the first to tell you, you need talented hitters to make it work. And he has worked very hard this season. Three and one.
It certainly helps to have physically talented hitters, experienced hitters at the plate, but they've also got to buy into the system that seeing a few extra pitches every at bat in the ball game is going to help them not only in a game but over the course of the long season.
That has loaded the bases for Mark DeRosa. Time for today's Cubs legendary moment, brought to you by the all-new Horseshoe Casino. We go back to September 25th, 1998. Can you say 66? Sammy Sosa's 66th home run off the Astros' Jose Lima. That gave him the lead over Mark McGwire in the great home run race of '98 for a few moments before Big Mac went deep. Sammy's 66th. Today's legendary moment brought to you by the all-new Horseshoe Casino, just 20 minutes from downtown Chicago. Can you believe it was 10 years ago? Time flies. Bases loaded for Mark DeRosa. Cubs trail 4-1. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs.
Talking about
another one of those critical moments.
Absolutely. I was going to say another turning point in the ball game here, this time for the Astros.
Backey working from the windup. 1-1. Probably not a bad idea after it didn't work out from the stretch to the last couple of batters. High in the air for DeRosa. Erstad at the warning track. Grand slam! His 4th career granny. Cubs lead. What a couple of days DeRosa's had. He's knocked in all 5 this afternoon. What a day for D-Roll. Today's curtain call brought to you by Mark DeRosa.
Wow, we were just talking about Gerald Perry and working with the offense, trying to get the guys to be patiently aggressive. Be willing to take the base on balls to set up the inning for your teammates. A walk to Ramirez, a walk to Edmonds sets it up for Mark DeRosa to be the hero. Just like Giovanni Soto drew that base on balls in the 8th inning ahead of the Reed Johnson home run the other night.
Mark DeRosa with 2 grand slams this season. The other one was in San Francisco on June 30th. Fair ball for Kosuke. That'll be a double. Well, this season has had so many incredible moments. This one just the latest.
Backey missed his spot by the width of home plate. DeRosa didn't miss anything right there. Got out on his front foot just a little bit, but his body was so balanced. His hands were back. High fly ball. Our Southwest, how far did it fly? 378 feet to left center field.
They'll walk Soto. Let's go back to the 2 walks preceding that home run. That patience coming through again.
Well, not only patience, Len. I mean, obviously you have to be patient to take a base on balls, but for me, you've got to be unselfish. I mean, Ramos Ramirez is a run producer, no doubt about it. That's what he gets paid for, to drive in runs. It would have been very easy for him to go out of the strike zone chasing bad pitches, trying to be the hero, but because this offense is so deep, I think everybody understands at this point of the season, if I just take my base on balls, that improves the chances of the guy hitting behind me to be the hero today.
It's a great way to put it. Maybe the paradigm needs to change a little bit, and the way to say it is you're giving your teammates opportunities.
And not to mention they've run the pitch count up on Brandon Backey here in the 3rd inning up to 70.
And the beneficiary, the guy at the plate, Jason Marquis. Now working with a 1-run lead once again. Astros got 4 in the top. The Cubs with 4 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Every time the Cubs have gotten a runner to second base, Humberto Quintero and Brandon Backey have had problems getting on the same page. And of course, the catcher has to give a sequence of signs with that runner at second base, and they just can't seem to get together.
Marquis goes deep to right. Hunter Pence back on it. Going to be over his head. Pucadome scores. Soto stopped at third base. He wanted to try to score, but Mike Quaddy said, don't try it. 6-4. '25th career double for Marquis. 3rd on the season.
This ball has just smoked to right field. He guessed inside, got a pitch inside, stepped in the bucket a little bit, and just blistered that ball over the head of Hunter Pence out there in right field. And this is why you don't send Giovanni Soto on what could have been a close play at home plate.
Soriano deep to left. That ball's gone! Oh, baby! 10 have come to the plate in the inning. All the runs have scored after 2 are out. We're having a little fun this year, wouldn't you say?
We're having a lot of fun in this inning against Brandon Backey. And if you take a look down that right field line, there's nobody warming up.
9-4. A grand slam and a 3-run homer here in the inning. The pitcher with an RBI double.
It's a reaction to Brandon Backey on the mound. Everything I throw up there is getting roped. There's some obvious frustration with the pitch calling, the signals from behind home plate, and the fact that everything he throws up there is getting whacked.
Yeah, the body language right now on the mound is not great. Backey has given up 8 runs here in this inning. Three and 1 Ontario. He's the 11th batter of the inning. Well, the Cubs play with so much confidence in this ballpark. They have won 42 of 58 at home. Knocked down by Backey. And he'll get the out. They sent 11 to the plate. 8 of them score. Another of multiple standing ovations already in this homestand. DeRosa with a grand slam. A little later, Soriano the 3-run homer. And the Cubs lead 9-4.
McDonald's new Southern-style chicken sandwich is a juicy, perfectly seasoned chicken breast with pickles on a buttery tasting bun. Its taste is simply perfect. But how would a football enthusiast describe it?
You know, when you play and win, that's what it's like. It's definitely the tastiest chicken I've ever had. Es delicioso. You either score or you don't. And this one is un golazo.
Come try it for yourself and see how you describe it.
When my doctor told me I had to lower my cholesterol, I was shocked. I worried about the foods I'd have to eat. But you do what you have to.
My wife insists I eat whole grain oats to help lower my cholesterol. I made the commitment for her.
I was told eating certain foods can help lower my cholesterol. I guess it's a sacrifice I have to make.
Honey Nut Cheerio cereal tastes great and can help lower cholesterol.
No one said it would be easy. Be happy, be healthy.
Hey, Billy.
Kevin. Ooh, Johnsonville brats. Brat me.
Hey, how about some chicken?
Do I look like a chicken guy? Give me one of those.
Hey, dude. Want chicken?
Absolutely.
Not. No, brat.
That one. The last one right there.
My last brat?
Yeah, that's right.
It is tough giving up that last juicy Johnsonville brat.
Oh, looking for these?
Yes. You're the best. Oh, hi, hon.
Just make sure I get one.
Flavor up with Johnsonville brats.
Join the Night Watchman as he secures the fortress in an ongoing quest to keep it safe from mediocre television. Travel deep down to the movie underground to screen another movie mind fresh from the vault.
This Friday, we got Sly out for revenge in the remake of Get Carter.
My name is Jack Carter, and you don't want to know me.
Enter the movie underground Friday night at 8 East 5 West right here on WGN America.
Well, Jason Marquis back to the mound after his team scored 8 times. He knocked in one of those runs and scored one, too. DeRosa with a grand slam with 2 outs. And then later, Soriano with a 3-run homer. His second 3-run blast in as many days. Ty Wigginton with a base hit into left center. Still a long way to go. We're only in the 4th. Cubs lead by 5. Brandon Backey, extremely intense. We saw that down in Houston. It was one of the worst innings he's probably ever gone through.
Well, when the opposing team puts a snowman on the board in one inning, the wheels have fallen off, at least temporarily.
And I would guess, Bob, as a pitcher, there's nothing more frustrating than the fact that afterwards you go back and you say one pitch and I would have gotten out of it, because it all happened with 2 outs. And I think in both cases today, the starters could look at a key walk as Marquis walked Pence. And in the case of Backey, he walked Ramirez and Edmonds, all coming with 2 outs.
A lot of great things happened in that bottom half of the third, but for me, the Kosuke Fukudome double after the Mark DeRosa grand slam. You know, bases are now cleared. Okay, the damage has been done. I just need one more out to get out of the inning, and Kosuke immediately put him on the defensive again with a runner in scoring position.
And at that time, the lead was 1. Now it's up to 5. Two on Darren Erstad. Now with the off day tomorrow, I think every reliever knows he has a chance to pitch today, and he's not going to wait too long. As Sean Marshall, the left-hander, Chad Godin, the righty, are up just in case. There's a ground ball, not hit that hard. The tag, the throw, safe. So DeRosa gets the lead runner, and that's it.
Dero did everything he could right there. Ball really wasn't hit hard enough to turn the double play the traditional way, so Dero steps up, applies the tag, but Erstad with too much speed beats that relay on to first base.
Time now for today's AT&T text poll question as we wrap up this series with the Astros. What is your favorite Cubs moment against the Astros? Text to 97999. A for the Cubs' 1989 comeback from 9 down. B for Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. C for the 66th home run hit by Sammy we just showed you in the Astrodome in '98. D for Greg Maddox's win against the Rocket in 2005. Or E for Ryan O'Malley's magical debut in 2006. We don't have the last inning on there. That could have made the list. Results coming up a little bit later. Poll brought to you by the new AT&T. See what's new at the new AT&T. Visit att.com for details. 2 balls, no strikes. On the catcher, Quintero. Runner at first, 1 out. Cubs leading 9-4 here in the 4th inning. And Cecil Cooper is not going to take Brandon Backey out. We've talked about his hitting prowess. Backey's going to hit and stay in to pitch, even though he's given up 9 runs. A roller into right. Godin and Marshall continue to get loose. You don't have to have a great memory to just go back 24 hours and realize the Astros have already erased one 5-run deficit in this series. They were down 6-1 and eventually went up 7-6. Today it's 9-4 Cubs. And Marquis has gotten the run support that we had asked for when the game started.
Given the state of mind that Brandon Backey was in when he got back to his dugout after that 8-run inning, I believe he's got one thing on his mind right now as a hitter. He's trying to jerk something into the bleachers.
Took that slider for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Marquis set for a 1-2 pitch. It's outside. It's a final in Cincinnati. The Brewers beat the Reds 6-3. Jeff Suppan over Homer Bailey. Solomon Torres with his 22nd save. So the Cubs leads down to 4.5 in the division. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on a slider. First strikeout of the ball game for Marquis.
It's one downside to being a good hitting pitcher. Most pitchers don't really concern themselves too much with their at-bat unless they don't get a sacrifice bunt down. But guys like Jason Marquis and Carlos Zambrano and Brandon Backey, they expect to do something offensively as well as on the mound. So now Backey is doubly frustrated.
Looked like he just hit his head.
Have a day.
Worse.
Have a day. I should
it makes Brandon feel any better, but it's happened to all of us.
Oh, yeah. I've done it several times.
You can't get up quickly if you're sitting in the dugout.
Yeah, he just steps up on that little railing there to get up into the seat, and ouch.
He reacted well. He tried to sell it like it didn't hurt, but I know it did. I've done that sitting down there at 10 in the morning a few times. Backhanded by Derek. The throw goes to second. Terry was not expecting the toss. Quintero is trying to send Erstad from third to home. So a discombobulated play there, and the inning is still alive for Hunter Pence.
Well, we saw Derek make a similar play earlier in the ballgame, leading Jason Marquis perfectly to first base, but the easy play here is just to go to second, but Ryan Theriot was late getting over to cover the bag. Yeah, Jason Marquis maybe a little bit late. No, he breaks right away. Still a much easier play for the first baseman going that direction to just throw it to second base for the force out. But Theriot wasn't expecting the throw at second, was late getting there.
The call was a fielder's choice, so no hit, no error. And a huge swing by Pence. How many critical junctures can you have in a ball game?
I don't think there's a quota. We've had a bunch of them already in this game.
Nothing in 2.
That's the pitch they've been able to get Pence to swing and miss at in this series, that high fastball. Now, Jason Marquis, being a sinker ball pitcher, doesn't like to throw up in the zone very often.
Fans urging Jason Marquis on. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes on the hitter Pence. Little floater, and it'll be Edmonds to get it. That held up enough for Jim to make the catch. They leave him loaded. 9-4 Cubs.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
You can settle down. You can fire it up. You can tune it in, but it's still not summer until you bring it out. Introducing Bud Light Lime. It's the superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. One taste taste and you'll find the summer state of mind, it's in the lime. Bud Light Lime.
Introducing Turbo HD by Dish Network, the only 100% HD service, featuring 1080p VOD and the best HD DVR. Packages start at just $24.99 a month. Turbo HD by Dish Network.
Is it mathematically possible that such a huge treat is just $2.49? If I only had a brain.
The Peanut Buster Parfait from Dairy Queen. Creamy DQ soft serve, crunchy peanuts, and hot fudge for just $2.49.
One twitch of the nose made this witch comedic gold.
I'm not a bad witch. I'm a good witch. Her mother's a bad witch.
Bewitched, starting tonight at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
Let's take a look at our upcoming WGN-produced baseball schedule in high definition, sponsored by Comcast. Tomorrow night, the Sox host Detroit at 7 on WCIU Channel 26. Saturday night, the Sox host Boston at 6, right here on WGN Sports. Cubs back on WGN next Tuesday, August 12th at 6 versus the Braves from Atlanta. Derek Lee leading off the bottom of the fourth with the Cubs ahead 9-4. All right, you guys can come in.
Is that a race? Are they racing down the street there? Or just looking for customers?
It's a casual race. Foul tip, strike one, 2-1.
Well, and as we watch Derek Lee over the course of this season, when he does fall into those little funks that don't usually last very long, it seems to me like they always start by swinging at sliders off the plate low and away. That's a very tough pitch for any right-handed hitter to lay off of, especially if the pitcher can execute that pitch well and has good downward movement on it. But it seems like when Derek's going good, he recognizes that pitch quickly and lays off. When he's scuffling a little bit, he tends to check swing and swing at those sliders off the plate low and away.
Fastball just off the plate. Ball 4.
It just gets back to probably the single most important facet of hitting, and that's seeing the baseball. You've got to see the ball out of the pitcher's hands to even give yourself an opportunity to make solid contact.
Every Cub 1 through 9 has gotten on base. The only batter in the lineup, and now we've got some issues. Marty Foster really letting the pitcher Brandon Backey have it. Is there a misunderstanding? Looked like Quintero was trying to calm down the umpire.
It looked like Quintero was saying, I'll take care of my pitcher. You don't need to be yelling at him from back here behind home plate. I think Backey reacted to that ball 4 to Derek Lee, thought it was on the corner of the plate. There have been a few borderline pitches that haven't gone Brandon Backey's way, but
I think he's saying any more and you're gone.
Quintero, I believe, is just trying to diffuse the situation, and now went out to calm his pitcher down a little bit.
I was going to say the only Cub who has not scored is Derek. Well, that's consistency. 8 of the 9 Cubs have scored at least 1 run.
Now, Jim Edmonds being the one greedy Cub, he scored twice.
I'm sure he'd gladly give Derek 1 run if he could. Well, he could score here in this inning. He's at first with no outs. And it's cued foul by Ramos. This was when Quintero came to bat after that 8-run third.
A lot of times that's the best way to plead the case for your pitcher, is not when you're out there trying to nurse him through a tough inning, but let a little bit of time pass, come up and say, hey, you know, he's hitting that corner consistently, or we need that pitch, and just try to help your pitcher out a little bit in a much less confrontational manner.
Base hit into center for Ramos. Well, Bob, for whatever reason today, we've been able to kind of anticipate those big moments. This one's not a huge prediction, but you just get the feeling that it's not going to end well for Brandon Bakke today.
Especially if he keeps hanging breaking balls in the middle of the plate. He's talking to himself out there on the bump right now.
Edmonds with a double, a walk, and 2 runs. High fly ball. It's Erstad. Lead tagging. He'll get the third rather easily.
Stepping to the plate, second baseman, number 7, Mark DeRosa.
Well, we were able to have a little fun yesterday. It wasn't a fun moment for Mark when it happened, but he committed an error in the second inning, and after that, the Astros got an unearned run. But he came back with an RBI single in the bottom of that inning after a 2-run double in the first. So we were saying let in 1, but he's knocked in 3. Well, he's very much in the plus column this afternoon. The adage is knock in more than you let in.
Drive in more than you let in.
5 RBIs already. The 0-1 pitch, check swing. He went.
I don't know. Awfully close.
Far enough for Wally Bell to make the call at first. Cubs have made their hits count. 8 hits, 9 runs.
That was very similar to the ball 4 pitch to Derek Lee. A cutter just off of the outside corner. Looked like Bakke wanted that one too, but reacted much better this time.
Full count, 3-2.
.94 pitches.
Wow. In the 4th inning. Neither starter has been efficient. Bakke threw 41 in the 8-run third. 3-2 to DeRosa. Pops it foul off of first. This one he probably regrets. The Nissan drive of the game. A grand slam. As DeRosa took the breaking ball out for the biggest hit of the day. Bases loaded. Finally, the Astros have somebody up in their bullpen. Tim Burdack. Backey has walked 6, and he has no strikeouts.
Once again, pitching out of the windup with the bases loaded. It's kind of a matter of preference for a pitcher, what he's more comfortable doing. The one huge advantage the Cubs have with Backey pitching out of the windup is those base runners, especially at second and first, should get a couple of extra steps on their secondary lead should Kosuke split a gap somewhere.
Deep breath by the pitcher, and his 0-1 misses 1-1. By far the most runs allowed on the year by Backey. He gave up 11 earned runs the entire month of July, covering 5 starts. And a base hit into left. They'll go station to station, 10-4. Derek Lee has scored, so every Cub now with a run.
Nice recovery there by Kosuke after an off-balance, awkward swing. Came up empty, comes right back with good balance, drops a bat head on a ball out over the plate, lines it into left field for an RBI.
And I think mercifully, Cecil Cooper is finally going to get his starter out. It'll be Tim Burdack. Not even matching up. Going to bring in a lefty to face the right-handed hitting Giovanni Soto. We'll be back. Bases loaded. 10-4 Cubs.
Join the Night Watchman as he secures the fortress in an ongoing quest to keep it safe from mediocre television. Travel deep down to the movie underground to screen another movie mind fresh from the vaults.
This Friday, we got Sly out for revenge in the remake of Get Carter.
My name is Jack Carter, and you don't want to know me.
Enter the movie underground Friday night at 8 East 5 West right here on WGN America.
That ball's gone. A home run. Sox win. Sox win. Yes. Cubs win. They win it. Oh, baby.
One twitch of the nose made this witch comedic gold.
I'm not a bad witch. I'm a good witch. Her mother's a bad witch.
Bewitched, starting tonight at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
It's not a dream. You are not hallucinating. You're witnessing the metamorphosis of a new network. WGN America. Keep your eyes here.
As you said, Len, Brandon Backey's afternoon is mercifully over. Cecil Cooper finally coming out to get him. And Brandon Backey's not pleading his case to stay in the game. He's telling Cecil Cooper, it's not all my fault. We missed a couple calls back there behind the plate, but when the opposing team puts up a 9 hit outing against you. You walk 6 batters. Don't strike out a man. It's pretty tough to blame it on the umpire.
So Burdack will face Soto. With the bases still loaded, a run in, it's 10-4. The 3 runners on base still on the line of the starter Backey. They've already put a major hurting on his ERA, and it could go up even more. Soto has walked twice, once intentionally. Here's a pitch. A fly to center, and Erstad is going to set. Ramirez toward the plate, and he gets in standing. 11-4.
Nice job by Giovanni Soto. Even though he got that ball out off the end of the bat a little bit, Erstad does everything he can. He stays behind it, all his momentum going toward home plate. Being a left-handed thrower, that ball tails up the first base side just enough to allow Ramirez to get on the plate.
Popped up by Marquis. Carlos Lee squeezes out number 3. Cubs add 2 more to their lead. It's now 11-4 to the 5th.
The men of TV are de-evolving. From man of the house,
I am the king in my castle,
to man of the couch.
Haven't I heard of you?
You're not a cop, are you?
Just when you think it can't get any worse, these guys show up.
I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. That's my other brother Daryl.
Watch the men of classic TV go from sophisticated to sauced. Put your mind on rewind with Out of Sight Retro Night on WGN America. Keep your eyes here.
Last year, Expedia booked over 25 million trips worldwide. More trips than any other travel site. That gives you the power to get the best deal on the one trip that really matters. Yours. Expedia.com. And right now, you can get our best hotel deals yet. It's the Expedia half-off hotels sale. Get up to 50% off hotels, plus get $75 for free gas.
Can I get a little help here? Hello. Hey. We all upgraded to Verizon Wireless. Got push to talk and the reliability of the network. That old service is useless now. Careful. Cement.
Don't be the last one standing with another push to talk. Switch to the only one that comes with a network. Get these great deals when you activate push to talk on 5 business lines. Verizon Wireless.
Turbo HD by Dish Network, the only 100% HD service, featuring 1080p VOD and the best HD DVR. Packages start at just $24.99 a month. Turbo HD by Dish Network.
Let's check out today's Honda Accord game summary. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive the all-new 268 horsepower Accord V6. The Astros at one time led this game 4-1, but a big 8-run third highlighted by a Mark DeRosa grand slam, and later an Alfonso Soriano 3-run homer. Brandon Backey giving up a career-high 11 earned runs. As he, I was going to say chats with his catcher, but it is listening to his catcher, Humberto Quintero. He's doing all the talking.
Well, sometimes there's an obvious reason why a pitcher struggles. Maybe he couldn't command his breaking ball on a given day, or the umpire squeezed him and took a couple of borderline pitches away that cost him some tough at-bats. But I think today it was just a combination of everything. Backey's stuff wasn't that great. There were a few calls that didn't go his way, but more than anything else, the Cubs broke out the whipping sticks.
So the Cubs were shut out in the lightning-shortened game Monday. They scored 11 yesterday and 11 so far today. And the 11 this afternoon through just 4 innings. Berkman with an RBI single that tied it up in the 3rd. That was followed by a Carlos Lee go-ahead 3-run homer. It was all quickly forgotten, and the Cubs put up 8 in the bottom of that frame. Backhanded by DeRosa. So Marquis now 2 outs away from qualifying for the win. Are you surprised the Astros are ranked 12th in the National League in runs? Because I sure am. I mean, no Tejada today, but we're the middle of their order. Pretty formidable.
Playing a very hitter-friendly ballpark, home run friendly to left field, double and triple friendly everywhere else.
Check swing. So 1-2 after that foul. Ramirez almost stumbled and made a nice play.
When you play third base against a team that Carlos Lee plays for, you know you're going to get a couple of these in every series. He's not only going to hit it your way, he's going to hit it your way really hard. That time Ramirez just held his ground, had to go down to a knee eventually to balance himself, and plenty of arm to get El Caballo at first base.
When you played third, who was the most intimidating batter?
When I played third, they were all intimidating.
But I was trying to figure out a way to ask it where you wouldn't say that in response.
I'll tell you, Bob Horner was a guy that used to stand with his toes on the inside corner of the plate, and he would pull any pitch that came to the plate, and he would pull it hard down my way. I didn't like to see him come to the plate with the Braves. Believe it or not, a guy that was playing for the Mets, I believe at the time, Hubie Brooks was another guy that could really hit some top spin grounders down that third base side.
Marquis looking for his first 1-2-3 innings since the first, and he's going to get it. Goes 4-3, all 3 outs, ground outs here in the 5th inning. Halfway home, all Cubs, 11-4.
Introducing Bud Light Lime, the superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor.
Can I get a little help here? Hello. Hey. We all upgraded to Verizon Wireless. Got push-to-talk and the reliability of the network. That old service is useless now. Careful. Cement.
Don't be the last one standing with another push-to-talk. Switch to the only one that comes with the network. Get these great deals when you activate push-to-talk on 5 business lines. Verizon Wireless.
Think back to the last time you had a juicy Johnsonville brat. Remember how they sizzled on the grill? Memories are great.
Honey.
But there's nothing like the real thing.
Nice. I know.
Flavor up with Johnsonville brats.
On Thursday, August 7th, Dairy Queen's most magical treat will become even more magical because all proceeds from every blizzard you buy help children in your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Introducing Bud Light Lime, the superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor.
Chappelle Show, Friday night at midnight East, 9 West on WGN America.
Back in that third inning, Alfonso Soriano with his 21st and team-leading home run. Our Southwest, how far did it fly? 410 feet deep into the bleachers in left field.
Base hit into center. We'll start the 5th. With Kerry Wood returning yesterday, the Cubs are about as healthy as they've been all year. John Lieber still on the disabled list. Chad Fox, Angel Guzman, only guys currently on the DL. The return of Soriano has made a big difference offensively. Continues to come up with big hits. Running as well as he has since he's been a Cub. Shot foul by Terrio. Got to ask you about the unwritten rules. You call off the dogs at this point, or if Soriano sees an opening, can he run? We're in the 5th inning. And remember what the Astros did yesterday, coming back down 5.
Usually when I talk about those unwritten rules, I get in trouble. But the way I always heard it was 6 runs after the 6th. If a team is ahead by 6 runs after the 6th, and I don't know where that number came from.
What year did that number come up?
Yeah, that's true,
That's the question, because times have changed.
Oh.
Well, it had the sound of home plate.
Well, for Ryan Terrio, it didn't feel like home plate.
It sounded like it hit home plate, but it obviously hit Ryan.
Oh, my.
Off the top of his front foot.
Boy, that is as hard a foot shot as I've seen this year right there. Hey, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Ryan Terrio comes out of this ball game, and probably should come out of this ball game right now. Get in there, start getting some ice on that thing to try to keep the swelling down, try to limit the amount of downtime.
Well, the Cubs were as healthy as they've been all year. Actually, like the inside of that foot, maybe near the ankle.
Well, even though he's going to continue to take this at bat, I would recommend that Ronnie Cedeno start getting loose over there in the dugout. But the sooner you can start treatments on those things, the less time you're likely to miss.
And you can wear the shin guard and even the guard that has a pad on the top of the foot, but I think that ball still would have gotten him pretty good. Broken bat ground ball. ball fair. Throw goes to first. Ryan's just not 100% going down the line. He might have picked up an infield hit before he fouled the ball off his foot. As it is, he's thrown out by Wigginton. Looked like he was at about 80%.
He's just having trouble pushing off of that foot. Obviously, in a great amount of pain as he was running down that first baseline. Probably beats that ball out if he hadn't fouled the ball off his left foot.
Ryan doesn't even want to talk to Mark O'Neill. He figures if he can avoid him, he'll stay in. Mark's not going to let that happen. Remind me not to talk about how healthy this team is again.
See, I'm not into that jinx and stuff. We tease about it from time to time. Shouldn't have said anything. But, you know, the reality is if that's all it took, Cubs would win every game because we'd put the whammy on the other team every day. Right. It's not that easy.
Fisted foul. Trying to get to 23 over 500 for the first time this season. Cubs are 68 and 46. Trying to win their 15th series at home. They've only dropped 3 sets all year. At Wrigley Field, they've tied one other. Even though this team is almost at full strength, it'll be a well-needed off day tomorrow. It's strike 3. 2 outs in the inning. It's the first strikeout of the day for Astros pitchers. Here's another look at today's AT&T text poll question. Last chance to vote for your favorite moment against the Houston Astros. Tough call today. I might have to go for B. One of the greatest pitching performances in the history of this game.
The Ryan O'Malley start down in Minute Maid Park in Houston. One of the most emotional games I've ever seen in my life. Especially under the circumstances. The Cubs have played a long extra inning night game the night before. Everybody was dragging on the day game the next day. Ryan O'Malley was called up. He had very little sleep and went out and just did the amazing.
Pitched the game of his life. This is Matsui. The Cubs do not score for the first time since they went down in order in the first. They lead the Astros 11-4.
On the next Reno 911.
Internet predator mic check.
An online bust goes off.
You sugar daddy 69?
Sure as I can. You know, I would love to put my lips on that.
Yeah?
I'd love to have
put
my
lips on that?
Because I am so thirsty.
Reno 911.
Reno 911. Friday night at 1 East, 10 West.
Come on, what woman doesn't melt when they hear an accordion?
By the time I met Randy, I knew what I was looking for.
Everybody's complex. We oversimplify ourselves and we oversimplify each other a lot.
What's been surprising about love is that it's a lot easier than I thought it would be.
It feels good not to have to be anything other than who you are. I put that on my eHarmony thing, by the way, is me playing the accordion.
Did you?
No. Log on and review your matches for free. eHarmony.com.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life. And now there's an official hair treatment of the summer of your life. New touch of gray from Just for Men.
lets you keep a little gray. Works gradually. Just comb in, rinse.
Never trust anybody over 90.
Keep a little gray with new Touch of Gray.
McDonald's new Southern-style chicken sandwich is a juicy, perfectly seasoned chicken breast with pickles on a buttery-tasting bun. Its taste is simply perfect. But how would a boxing enthusiast describe it?
It's the winning combination of ingredients. The chicken definitely has sazón. When it comes to taste, es un verdadero knockout.
Come try it for yourself and see how you'd describe it.
Hey, Lynn, Smash Mouth is playing over at the Neighbors. That's right, the Cubby Bear Wrigleyville at the corner of Clark and Addison is the venue. August 22nd is the date. Should be a smash. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com or by phone at 312-559-1212 or at the Cubby Bear Wrigleyville. Smash Mouth, August 22nd, brought to you by Bud Light. Live music and Bud Light keeps it coming.
Ty Wigginton pops it up on the infield, and it's Derek Lee underneath. Smash Mouth's big album was called Astro Lounge. This is their version, cover version of I'm a Believer. Quite as many boats out on the lake as we saw yesterday. I guess if we saw 2 yesterday, it'd be more than we just saw. Marquis has sent down 7 straight Astros. In pretty good shape right now to end his 4-game losing streak. Fouled back by Erstad. Look out. Oh, nice catch by Soto on the carom off the backstop.
Well, it didn't take Gio long to figure out the physics of that backstop behind home plate. Usually the visiting teams that come in here, catcher gets very close to getting hit in the back of the head by a carom off of that screen. But Gio, he knows the angles now. He knows when it's coming back his way.
There's another one. And we want to send out congratulations to Chuck and Stacy Boffman on the birth of their baby girl, Carson Boffman, born Monday morning. Chuck is the assistant minor league athletic training coordinator for the Cubs. One and two. I want to send out best wishes to Irene Finkston, who watches back in Sergeant Bluff, Iowa. Watches from the farm, never misses a game. Foul tip, strikeout, 2 away. Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Check out the Cubs.com shop today. Ramirez drops it, but Quintero, the catcher's running, and he'll be saved. Throw is a little bit offline. That'll be an error on Ramos, his 10th of the season.
Well, after initially bobbling that ball at third base, he still had time to get Quintero over at first base, but his throw pulled Derek off the bag. Let's keep it in front. Plenty of time with the slow runner, but unfortunately the throw is to the home plate side of first base. That's why they call it the hot corner. Very little time to react to those awkward hops down there. Ramirez did the right thing, just chesting up on that ball, but his throw pulled Derek off the bag.
The pitcher, Burdak, will get his 8th career plate appearance. He is 2 for 7. Including 1 for 5 this season.
Another big birthday today, Lynn. Our good buddy Mark Conley from Orland Park celebrating his 15th birthday.
2-out error keeping the Astros alive here in the 6th. But they're done now as Burdack strikes out. 2 Ks in the inning for Jason Marquis. Cubs lead by 7.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer.
You just randomly you were so jealous. What was that?
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Every sip gets you closer to clothing, vacations, millions of songs from Amazon MP3 and more. Sign up at PepsiStuff.com.
Goodbye, Mr. Made Up of Different Stuff guy.
Increase power, performance, and gas mileage with Prestone Fuel System Cleaner and save up to $3.96 on the deal. Whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration. Driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
WGN America, your summertime home for baseball.
Having some fun at the ballpark. 11-4 Cubs. Wrigley Field is packed once again. Hey, Bob, we have a follow-up from our weekend conversation about Doug Minkiewicz and his uniform and the buttons. The Astros have the same setup as the Pirates and pretty much every team in baseball. You see how it's unevenly spaced. They have the 2 buttons at the top, but then they leave space for the Houston. That's called pro buttoning. There's actually a name for it. The folks at uniwatchblog.com put a transcript of our conversation about Doug Minkiewicz. So that's the pro button style. And the Cubs home pinstripes and the blue alternate tops, which they are wearing, are the only ones in baseball that are not of the pro button style. You see, it's evenly spaced because they don't have a team name across the middle. There's a big article on ESPN.com about uniform styles back in late May. So thanks to the folks at uniwatchblog.com for noticing. I didn't know that it had a name, Pro Button.
Why should you know that?
And what can happen with the Pro Button style is billowing, meaning the uniform goes out a little bit because there's a big space between the second and third buttons. I don't know if billowing was a problem for you when you played, but it's an epidemic all around the game today.
What are we going to do?
Now, do they have a little Velcro in there keeping the Houston together? Some teams have that, too. Called strike 3. Well, there's all kinds of stuff like this on the internet.
Okay.
Everything you need to know about baseball uniforms. Well, the Phillies had the zippers, right? At one time. That dog's not that interested. Popped up by DeRosa. And Pence comes out of room.
All I know is I was happy every day I got to the ballpark and there was one hanging in my locker. They could have taken all the buttons off of it. Could have had one big button right in the middle. I didn't care as long as there was one hanging in my locker.
I guess the Washington Nationals red alternate uniforms also do not have the pro button style. So we'll have to ask Doug Minkiewicz if he's a fan of that particular style. Rosa grounds to second, and Matsui will throw him out.
Sounds like another stat category for me.
Time to see how you voted on today's AT&T text poll question. Your favorite Cubs moment against the Astros in a landslide, Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game back in 1998. See what's new at the new AT&T. Visit att.com for details. Big Kerry Wood Strike Zone event tonight, benefiting the Organic School Project. Big bowling tournament downtown. Looking forward to it. Cubs hoping to be celebrating a big victory. They lead by 7 in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, that was one of those rare occurrences that anybody that had an opportunity to see it should consider themselves very fortunate when you have a premier athlete physically in the prime of his career, mentally focused to the nth degree, at least for one afternoon. That was as dominating a performance in any sport as I've ever seen. The Astros had no chance against Woody that day. No team would have had a chance against Woody that day. You know, we talk all the time about pitchers that go out there, and some days they'll have good stuff, but mentally they're just not quite into it to the level they need to be. Other days their focus and concentration is great, but physically they can't do some things they'd like to do. But on that one afternoon, he had it all going.
Well, it was that day Jack Brickhouse was watching and called the production truck. Talked to Arnie Harris, and you know, Jack called some no-hitters in his day. Kerry gave up 1 hit in that ball game, and he said he had never seen anything like that. As Erstad with a sliding grab, he's made a couple of really nice catches in center in the series. 11-4 Cubs.
Bob Kelso, a tradition of integrity.
Oh, I'm not paying. I'm a doctor.
Next Scrubs.
Tonight at 11.
What the?
You guys okay?
We're trapped, and there's 7 of us. There's no way we'll fit in there.
There's room for 8.
Oh, forget it. We have too many beverages.
There's like 12 cup holders in here.
But what about this bison?
That thing got my blood a-boiling.
That's probably just the seat warmer.
Seating for 8. Ride Ready. The new Pilot, only from Honda.
If you think all batteries are the same, consider this. It was a beautiful day in the park.
Kevin, can you hand me
that turned to panic in an instant. And everything depended on a Brickhouse child locator.
Kevin!
And packed inside every locator is the only battery Brickhouse trusts. Duracell. So even if you hope you'll never have to use it, it still has to work. Duracell. Trusted everywhere.
Flush out the old, pour in the new. Get Advance Auto Parts 50/50 antifreeze for just $6.98 a gallon. Sale ends August 30th. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
So here on this memorable afternoon in Cooperstown, my heart tells me that I have traveled the 90 feet from third to home and scored standing up. Thank you very much.
That's today's Have a Ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Jack Brickhouse, his Hall of Fame acceptance speech back in 1983. Jack passed away 10 years ago today. Ronnie Cedeno playing short for Ryan Theriot. Did stay in there after fouling a ball off his foot, but he comes out now here in the 7th. Top of the order for Houston. 2 balls, no strikes. On Kaz Matsui. Pop foul off to the left. Cubs legend Ron Santo will handle the stretch today from the radio booth. That's away, ball 3. Ronnie's ready. Looks like he has his industrial vacuum in there, or whatever that thing is, just in case too many peanut shells in the ground. Actually, it's the air conditioning unit. And that is a hat. And it is perilously close to falling. So a leadoff walk to Matsui.
Thought that was an elephant's trunk hanging out of the booth over there. A little pachyderm laying on the floor over there on the radio side.
Hey, Cubs fans, we want to remind you that you can get official Cubs text and video alerts on your mobile phone. Text Get Cubs to 65246. I thought it was maybe like a speaker or something. They're just broadcasting to the upper deck. Marquise had 1 bad inning. That was a 4-run third. Looking for a double play ball. Safe at first. So Pence makes it a fielder's choice.
Talked about Pence's speed earlier in the ball game. Still hasn't translated into stolen base ability, but he can get down that line as good as anybody. Always tough to turn that 4-6-3 because of that first flip by the second baseman. Takes a little while to get the ball to the shortstop. Ronnie with a strong relay throw on to Derek Lee. Boy, with the naked eye, it looked like they got Pence, but Wally Bell saw it otherwise.
The manager, Lou Piniella, is out. Samardzija and Marshall are up in the bullpen. Lou went to the mound, now going to the home plate umpire, Marty Foster. And he's going to make a double switch.
Yeah, I don't think you can do this, though, Lou. According to the rules, you've got to go straight to the man, or rather straight to the home plate umpire and tell him you're going to make a double switch before you go to the mound.
Cecil Cooper now walking out.
Now, if you're just going to take the pitcher out of the ball game, you go straight to the mound, you make the pitching change. If you want to make a double switch, you have to immediately go to the home plate umpire, tell him what positions are involved and where the new players are going to hit in the batting order, and then you go to the mound.
The pitcher is going to be Marshall. We'll see if anybody else comes in with him. Jim Edmonds heading out. Reed Johnson coming in. We'll find out where they'll be in the batting order when we come back.
Like the ad says, there's hardwood floors throughout.
Nice.
Hey, you want a Bud Light?
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. By splitting the rent, there's more money for Bud Light.
Great.
Ready to see your room?
Yeah.
Hey, Ruiz, say hi to Brian.
The thing is,
make yourself at home.
Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
That chili is not sitting well.
we are de-evolving from man of the house.
I am the king in my castle.
To man of the couch.
Haven't I heard of you?
You're not a cop, are you?
Just when you think it can't get any worse, these guys show up.
I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. That's my other brother Daryl.
Watch the men of classic TV go from sophisticated to sauced. Put your mind on rewind with Out of Sight Retro Night on WGN America. Keep your eyes here.
So Jason Markey battled today, acknowledging the fans and their ovation as he's trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Reed Johnson's now into play center. It is a double switch. He'll bat 9th. With Sean Marshall in to Jim Edmonds' spot, which is a 5-hole. And he turns around Lance Berkman. Runner at first, 1 out. I'll tell you, Cecil Cooper had a very long conversation with a couple of the umpires, a home plate umpire Marty Foster and the crew chief Wally Bell, regarding that double switch. Berkman getting a new bat. Matsui walked to start the inning. And then Pence hit into a fielder's choice. Just beat the relay throw to first. And as the Cubs were trying to turn 2.
I would imagine that Cecil Cooper is arguing baseball official rule 3.03, which says when 2 or more substitute players of the defensive team enter the game at the same time, the manager shall immediately before they take their positions inform the umpire in chief where those players are in the batting order. Generally on a double switch, you immediately go to the home plate umpire, explain to him what the double switch is going to be, and then he calls for the pitcher to come in from the bullpen.
Well, apparently there's a little wiggle room in the rule book. It doesn't seem to leave open room to go to the mound without knowing if you're going to pull the pitcher. Because you should be able to at least go to the mound and then decide, hey, I'm going to make that double switch, as opposed to I have to do it before I go to the mound.
Luke came out of that third base dugout, crossed the foul line, talking to Jason Markey, and then he asked the home plate umpire to make a double switch. I'd have to argue that too if I was the opposing manager. I mean, it's a picky little thing, but it's a letter of the rule book. It tells you how you have to handle the double switch.
Popped up by Lee for Ronnie Cedeno near short, makes the catch. Time to sing with Ronnie.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, this old Cub himself. Welcome, Ron Santo.
Oh, you wonderful Cub fans. Let's hear it loud and clear for our wonderful Cubbies. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back home. Rooting for the Cubbies if they don't
It's not a dream. You are not hallucinating. You're witnessing the metamorphosis of a new network. WGN America. Keep your eyes here.
Think back to the last time you had a juicy Johnsonville brat. Remember how they sizzled on the grill? Memories are great.
Honey.
But there's nothing like the real thing.
Nice. I know.
Flavor up with Johnsonville brats.
Is it mathematically possible that such a huge treat is just $2.49? If I only had a brain. The Peanut Buster Parfait from Dairy Queen. Creamy DQ soft serve, crunchy peanuts, and hot fudge for just $2.49.
It was the golden age of television, so take a look back at the good old days with 4 classic shows. The Honeymooners.
I want to go to the moon. Do you want to go to the moon?
The Beverly Hillbillies.
That don't take the ham off the hog.
Bewitched.
I am a witch.
And I Dream of Jeannie.
Why did I not think of that?
It's Golden Oldies Week, all this week, starting at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
Giovanni Soto taps back to the mound and is thrown out by the pitcher Burdak. Great job as always by Ron Santo, handling a 7th inning stretch.
That booth takes on an industrial look in the daytime. At night, it looks like a piano lounge. In the daytime, it looks like a metal shop over there or something.
Thumbs up, Ronnie.
Nice job.
Yep.
As always.
First at bat for Reed Johnson. Well, the Cubs seem to be well on their way to winning this series. And Cecil Cooper probably isn't happy about much today, but it'll be a pat on the back to Tim Burdak. They're just settling things down. Came on in the 4th inning, and he's still in there.
Well, not only settling things down, but saving the rest of that bullpen for most of the afternoon here. I mean, this is the kind of day when your starter leaves after 3 1/3. You can go through a whole can of bullpen and really be strapped and possibly have to make some roster moves after a game like this. But Burdak has given him some real quality innings here.
This is his longest appearance of the season already. He's gone 3 full innings. Foul tip for strike 2. 2-2. Lee talked about getting Kerry Wood one more appearance before the 9th, before jumping back into the closer role. It possibly could happen today as Erstad will chase it down. Reed Johnson stays hot, and that's a double. You could possibly see Kerry Wood in back-to-back appearances, and then he might be ready to jump back in that closer role on Friday. We'll see.
They've been calling the two-headed monster in center field. Jim Edmonds, Reed Johnson, both doing damage in this ball game today. Reed Johnson with his first at bat since coming into the game as part of that double switch, and finds that gap in right center field for a double.
Soriano with 7 RBIs the last 2 games. His average right now at an even 300. That Cubs fan wants another home run. Can't get enough.
I have a feeling that's the 5th time today that young man has raised that sign. So far, he's 1 for 4.
Bob, I'm looking at the game logs for Alfonso Soriano. He got off to a slow start. He was still in the 190s on May 9th. I think this is the first time he's been at 300 all season. Came in at 297. Swing and a miss. Might knock him back to 299.
Well, Len, it's time for today's Too Much Good Stuff, brought to you by AM/PM. Guess what? 2 home runs in that eventful 3rd inning. A grand slam by Mark DeRosa to count for 4 runs, and then Alfonso Soriano puts 3 on the board with a homer of his own. Too much good stuff, the home run ball today. Thank you, AM/PM.
Ball 1 on Ronnie Cedeno. First at bat, he came into play short at the top of the 7th. Cubs needed to win today to maintain their 5-game lead over Milwaukee. The Brewers beat the Reds 6-3 in Cincinnati.
Hey, Len, I'd like to send a hello and a thank you out to Larry and Julie Sproul from Sheboygan, Michigan. Big Cub fans. They watch every game, and they sent me a real nice letter and a Boise Hawks cap.
All right.
That'll come in handy. Thank you, Larry and Julie Sproul.
We're going to catch some Hawks action coming up. I see Josh Vitters has been hot.
Josh Vitters, the entire team has been red hot. Chasing the Spokane Indians in their division of the Northwest League. Just can't seem to make up on any ground on Spokane, but they're playing great baseball and really doing it offensively, much like the parent club.
Got him, called strike 3, and that'll end the Cubs 7th. We'll go to the 8th. The Cubs looking pretty good in this rubber game today, 11-4.
One twitch of the nose made this witch comedic gold.
I'm not a bad witch. I'm a good witch.
Her mother's a bad witch.
Bewitched, starting tonight at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
WGN America. TV you can't ignore.
Increase power, performance, and gas mileage with Crestone Fuel System Cleaner and save up to $3.96 on the deal. Whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Breakfast.
So what did you bring?
Chicken.
Chicken for breakfast?
It's called Southern Style Chicken Biscuit.
Sandra, wake up. Alex brought us some chicken. Chicken? What time is it? Light test! Light test!
Now there's chicken for breakfast.
Oh,
Introducing the new Southern Style Chicken Biscuit. A juicy, perfectly seasoned chicken breast on a homemade tasting biscuit. Wake up for the love of chicken.
it's only 9 in the morning.
Some coffee?
Last year, Expedia booked over 25 million trips worldwide. More trips than any other travel site. That gives you the power to get the best deal on the one trip that really matters. Yours. Expedia.com. And right now, you can get our best hotel deals yet. It's the Expedia half-off hotel sale. Get up to 50% off hotels, plus get $75 for free gas.
Always bustling here in the Wrigleyville neighborhood, particularly on game day. We're in the 8th. Sean Marshall got the final 2 outs of the 7th. Jeff Blum batting right-handed against the left-hander Marshall. Best of luck to the Cubs RBI team The senior boys all-star team competing in a big tournament, the RBI World Series in Compton, California this weekend. That hurt Jeff Blum. Let's see where it got him. Oh.
Front of the left ankle.
No fun. And he's down 1-2. The wind and the pitch, it's low. The Cubs RBI teams are fully funded by Cubs Care. And that senior all-star team. The members are 16 to 18 years old. It's the 16th annual Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities World Series. So best of luck to the Cubs. Called strike 3.
Usually after fouling that ball off your ankle, it does take a little of your concentration away. That time Blum frozen on a big breaking ball from Sean Marshall.
John Lieber last night pitched for Peoria as he rehabs his foot injury. 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, but he said he felt good. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 3. John has a right foot strain. The AAA Iowa Cubs are 19 games over 500. They're 4 games up in the PCL's Northern Division. Struck well. Cedeno lays out, can't get it. And Wigginton has his 3rd hit. Michael Hoffpower with another home run. 5 consecutive 2-hit games. Micah with 72 RBIs. He's played in 48 games.
Wow.
Tied for the team lead in RBIs with Casey McGee. Jason DuBois with 3 more hits. Bounced foul by Erstad. Doug Deeds hitting .334 for AA Tennessee. He's 5th in the league in batting. Mentioned Josh Bitters with a 13-game hitting streak for Boise. Shortstop Ryan Flaherty. And a good stretch. He's hit 5 straight, 11 for 22. The Hawks are 30-18. But they're still 5 games out. Big swing by Erstad.
And I don't know the exact numbers, but it seems to me like they've won like 15 of their last 20 or 21 ball games. And when they started this streak, they were 5 games back. They just can't pick up any ground.
The High A Daytona Cubs are in first place in the East Division of the Florida State League. And some really good performances in the minor league system this season, both individually and team-wise. That'll be a double play as Erstad lines to first. Wigginton caught off the bag. Still 11-4 Cubs.
Perfect beer deserves the perfect pour. Right down the middle, releasing all the flavor. Perfect.
Well, call me a perfectionist.
On Thursday, August 7th, Dairy Queen's most magical treat will become even more magical because all proceeds from every Blizzard you buy help children in your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Hey,
Billy.
Kevin. Ooh, Johnsonville brats. Brat me.
Hey, how about some chicken?
Do I look like a chicken guy? Give me one of those.
Hey, dude. Want chicken?
Absolutely not. No, brat. That one. The last one right there.
My last brat?
Yeah, that's right.
It is tough giving up that last juicy Johnsonville brat.
Oh, looking for these?
Yes. You're the best. Oh, up high, hon.
Just make sure I get one.
Flavor up with Johnsonville brats.
Here's a tip. Order a Budweiser on draft. It's kept cold from the brewery to the distributor to the tap. Can't get a more refreshing Budweiser than that.
I thought I was supposed to tip you.
You still can.
WGN America, your summertime home for baseball.
You went on a gay cruise?
Next, Becker.
Please tell me you mean happy.
Becker, tonight at 12:30.
Time for today's Bud Light Fan Cam with Houston in town. We go a little country.
What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? And what if it all goes right? What if it all goes
What if it all goes right? By the 2008 Nashville Star winner, Melissa Lawson. Today's Bud Light keeps it coming. It's today's Bud Light Fan Cam. Former Cub LaTroy Hawkins pitching, a swing and a miss by Dean Lee. David Newhan also playing left. Hawkins with the 0-2. It's outside. He got one out in the bottom of the 8th Monday night before the Lightning caused a second delay and eventually called the game. And Hawkins got the save. Got him, called strike 3.
That comeback sinker starts it on the outside corner, tails it back over the outer third of the plate. Hopefully, apparently looking for something else.
Now Mike Fontenot will bat for Aramis. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Hawkins came over recently from the New York Yankees. There's David Newhan in left. His save for LaTroy was his first since August 17th, 2005. He was with the Giants at that time. Knee-high strike, 1-2.
Well, and you know how I like to look for oddities in the game, things that you don't normally see. The Astros shortstop Jeff Blum today has yet to record an assist in this ball game, while their starting pitchers have recorded 3. 3 times the pitchers have fielded comebackers and thrown on to first for the out. Jeff Blum has yet to field a ground ball.
Yeah, that is strange.
I mean, Ramos Ramirez had 2 assists in the second inning alone. Ty Wigginton's only had 2 the entire ball game.
Darrell Ward bats for Sean Marshall. The great thing about this game from a scoring standpoint, if you peruse long enough, you're probably going to find some little quirk, something that hasn't happened since, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 7 decades ago.
We've been talking a lot about Jack Brickhouse today, a 1983 inductee into the Hall of Fame, and one of his fellow inductees that year was Brooks Robinson, who was widely known as possibly the best defensive third baseman in the history of the game. He turned 2 triple plays in his career as a third baseman. He hit into 4 triple plays, including 1 on this date in baseball history.
All right. An 0-2 coming to Darrell Ward. Pop foul out of play.
How do you hit into 4 triple plays in a career? That was back on this date in 1967, setting a major league record.
You're curious to know if they were all in the 5-4-3 variety. Did he line into a triple play? Runners were going, something like that. Another 0-2 inside. Happy belated 73rd birthday to Jerry Banks. It's from your daughter Julie. And Hawkins comes in and strikes out the side in the 8th. The Cubs bats were pretty hot earlier today. They lead 11-4 as we go to the 9th. Jeff Samardzija coming in.
It's not a dream. You are not hallucinating. You're witnessing the metamorphosis of a new network. WGN America. Keep your eyes here. Chappelle Show, Friday night at midnight East, 9 West on WGN America.
Somebody. You just randomly. I know.
What was that?
It's nothing.
Yeah. Nothing at all.
Every sip gets you closer to clothing, vacations, millions of songs from Amazon MP3 and more. Sign up at PepsiStuff.com.
Goodbye, Mr. Made Up of Different Stuff guy.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life. And now there's an official hair treatment of the summer of your life. New Touch of Gray from Just for Men. Lets you keep a little gray. Works gradually. Just comb in, rinse.
Never trust anybody over 90.
Keep a little gray with New Touch of Gray.
Flush out the old, pour in the new. Get Advance Auto Parts 50/50 antifreeze for just $6.98 a gallon. Sale ends August 30th. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Travel deep down to the movie Underground to screen another movie, mind fresh from the vaults. The movie Underground, Friday night at 8 East 5
Jeff
West on
Samardzija.
WGN America.
Pitching here in the 9th, Quintero hits it foul. It's Ed Romero, the third base coach. So Samardzija trying to close it out with the Cubs leading by 7. 9 strikeouts in fewer than 9 innings. Right-hander Jeff Karstens still hasn't given up a run as a Pirate. This is his second start today in Arizona. He's been perfect through 6. It's 1-0 Pirates over the Diamondbacks. Mike Fontenot now playing second, lays out, and a nice pick by D. Lee at the other end. By the way, Fontenot's playing second now. Should get that out of the way. DeRosa now at third. One to play to start the ninth.
Now Fontenot had the right guy running for the Astros, the opposing catcher from our Southwest RoboCam. Nice diving stop up the middle of the field by Fontenot. Derek Lee stretching out to the outfield side of first, managed to keep his foot on the bag, and Wally Bell rings him up over there at first.
Called strike on David Newhand.
But it's a great opportunity for Jeff Samardzija to come in a relatively low-pressure situation and work on some of his secondary pitches, specifically the slider, the splitter. We know he's got a good moving fastball. No question that's his go-to pitch in the mid to upper 90s, but needs to sharpen up those off-speed pitches, and this is a great opportunity for him to throw some of those pitches today.
After Newhand, it's Kaz Matsui, the leadoff man. A couple of other scores around baseball today. Tampa Bay beating Cleveland 10-7. They got 6 in the bottom of the ninth to win it. They trailed 7-4 going to the last of the ninth. Angels leading the Orioles 9-4. Minnesota with 4 in the second. They're still batting at Seattle. They start the day a game behind the White Sox. Just missed. Good fastball. And it did not apparently catch the zone. 2-2.
Good comeback sinker. Starts inside off the plate. Works its way back toward the corner. But in the estimation of Marty Foster, it didn't quite get there.
Gets him that time on a swing and a miss. In a game at Tampa Bay, Carlos Pena with a game-ending 3-run homer to win it. So Tampa Bay now with a 3.5-game lead over the Red Sox. Fans on their feet, 2 down here in the ninth. Ball 1 on Matsui. In the air, Soriano's drifting over near the foul line. He makes the catch. Cubs win. 11-4 the final. So they have taken 4 of 6 on this homestand. An off day tomorrow. The Cardinals come in Friday for a big weekend. What a third inning. The Cubs scored 8 times. 7 of those runs came on a grand slam by DeRosa and a 3-run homer from Soriano.
Central Division standings with the Cubs' victory today. A full 5-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers, 6 over the St. Louis Cardinals. Houston fading away near the bottom of the division.
Cubs win 11-4, the final score. We'll have more from Wrigley Field in a moment.
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla?
Scrubs, live 7 nights a week at 11 East, 8 West on WGN America.
That's our Bud man. He's always here, rotating stock, checking freshness dates, making sure your Budweiser is always perfect.
Does he make house calls?
On Thursday, August 7th, Dairy Queen's most magical treat will become even more magical because all proceeds from every blizzard you buy help children in your Children's Miracle Network hospital.
Hey, we landed. In the middle of the road.
Hop in this room. There's one thing. We're nudish. Wow.
Ugh. Rear view camera. Ride ready. The new Pilot, only from Honda.
This is Budweiser's new signature glass. It's designed to release the perfect amount of natural carbonation and flavor with every sip. What do you think of that?
I think it's time for a little research.
For the Chicago Cubs, the binary line score today, 11 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. 6 left. For Houston, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors, also 6 stranded. Jason Marquis gets the win. He's now 7-7, snaps his 4-game losing streak. Brandon Backey had a tough day, to say the very least. He's 6-11. He gave up 11 earned runs. That's a career high in just 3 1/3. 2 hours, 57 minutes in front of 41,107. And today's Budweiser play of the game, the grand slam by Mark DeRosa gave the Cubs their 2nd lead of the day, and they would not trail again.
That was his 12th home run of the season, his 2nd grand slam of the 08 season, the 4th of his career. Mark DeRosa with a big blow in the game today.
A perfect balance of taste and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Everybody's excited. Cubs win. We'll be back in a moment.
Attention, all Medicare beneficiaries who need assistance getting around their homes. There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you. Stay tuned for this important Medicare benefit information and free scooter guarantee. Imagine one scooter or power chair that could improve your mobility and your life. One Medicare benefit that, with private insurance, may entitle you to pay little to nothing to own it. One company that can make it all happen.
Great news. Your power chair will be paid in full.
The Scooter Store. Why should you call the Scooter Store today? Because their mobility experts are also Medicare experts. And that means the Scooter Store is your best shot at qualifying for a scooter that costs you little to nothing.
Hi, I'm Dan Weston. At the Scooter Store, more than 91% of our Medicare customers pay little to nothing out of pocket. How do we do it? We know what it takes to get you your scooter or power chair. It's our strength, it's our mission, and we back it up with this free scooter guarantee. If we pre-qualify you for Medicare reimbursement and Medicare denies your claim, we'll give you your new power chair or scooter absolutely free.
I paid into Medicare all my life, and when I needed it, the benefit was there for me. The Scooter Store made it so easy.
I didn't pay a penny out of pocket for my power chair. Medicare and my insurance covered it all.
The scooter store got me back out into the world again, and they're some of the nicest people you'll ever talk to.
There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you.
Call the scooter store for free information today.
Improve your mobility and your life. Call 1-866-816-2388 for your free, no obligation information from the scooter store. Find out if you pre-qualify for Medicare and insurance payment on a brand new power chair or scooter. That number again is 1-866-816-2388.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. The Chicagoland area Dodge dealers and the all-new 2009 Dodge Journey. AT&T. See what's new from the new AT&T. Visit att.com for details. The Illinois Lottery. Play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer. And by Southwest Airlines. Fees don't fly with us. Visit southwest.com.
Our next WGN broadcast of Chicago Cubs baseball will be Tuesday night from Atlanta when the Cubs and Braves open their three-game series at Turner Field. A pitching matchup, Rich Harden, a right-hander, Chuck James, a lefty. And our broadcast time, 6 o'clock Central. Celebrating 60 years of Cubs broadcasts on WGN, baseball like it ought to be. Another curtain call today. This time it's Mark DeRosa as the Cubs beat the Astros 11-4. And now for Bob and our entire WGN sports crew, this is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned as the Chevy Dealers 10th inning show is coming up next.
Andrea Barrow is a real Geico customer, not an advertising spokesperson. So to help tell her story, we hired one.
One day a rock chipped the windshield on my car.
Oh dear, broken glass sends shivers down my bottle.
I filed my claim at geico.com and scheduled an appointment.
It was a piece of cake. Or maybe more like hot pancakes.
The repairman came right to my house and fixed my baby like new.
Now I feel rich. Thick and buttery, too.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Oh, someone has put a logo right over my face.
The men of TV are de-evolving. From man of the house...
I am the king in my castle.
...to man of the couch.
Haven't I heard of you?
You're not a cop, are you?
Just when you think it can't get any worse, these guys show up.
I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. That's my other brother Daryl.
Watch the men of classic TV go from sophisticated to sauced. Put your mind on rewind with Out of Sight Retro Night on WGN America. Keep your eyes here. Superstation WGN is now WGN America. It's not just TV, it's a lifestyle. So quit your job, sell the car, and get ready to plant yourself in front of the tube.
Do not quit your job or sell your car, and if you do, at least make sure you got a backup plan and or you get a good price for it. If you do plant yourself in front of the tube to watch the all-new WGN America, make sure you have plenty of snacks on hand because wild horses, fire, or laser shooting flying saucers will be able to tear you away from the awesome stuff I just mentioned. For real, you've been warned.
WGN America, TV you can't ignore.
WGN America, TV you can't ignore.
It's the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show. Now, here's Len Casper.
Well, the Cubs ending a long stretch of consecutive games without an off day. 20 straight. They'll be off tomorrow. They're 4-2 on the homestand. They beat the Astros 2 out of 3, so they're 6-6 on the season versus Houston. A big 8-run third for the Cubs. 11 for the final. Marquee over Backey. Lots of home runs today. We'll have all the highlights when we come back.
It was the golden age of television, so take a look back at the good old days with 4 classic shows. The Honeymooners.
You want to go to the moon? Do you want to go to the moon?
The Beverly Hillbillies.
That don't take the ham off the hog.
Bewitched.
I am a witch.
And I Dream of Jeannie.
Why did I not think of that?
It's Golden Oldies Week, all this week, starting at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
If credit card debt is taking over your life, please write down this number, 1-800-CARE-123.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is a bankruptcy, and we pull them back, and they appreciate it.
Call for Care One Credit Counseling Services to help put an end to the worry, the collection calls, the sleepless nights, without bankruptcy.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You don't have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3, 4, or 5.
A Care One credit counselor knows how to listen and can help you reduce your payments, pay off debts faster, and stay out of debt.
People are truly amazed when they call us and they see what we can do to help them. I mean, the relief in their voice is just, it makes the job worthwhile.
Call 1-800-CARE-123 to speak to a Care One credit counselor. It's 15 minutes that can change your life. And the sooner you call, the easier it is.
Care One for you.
We can do amazing things.
It doesn't come on a plate. You don't eat it with a fork. And you taste it with all 5 senses. Denny's new sizzling breakfast skillets. Now breakfast sizzles all day long.
One twitch of the nose made this witch comedic gold.
I'm not a bad witch. I'm a good witch. Her mother's a bad witch.
Bewitched, starting tonight at 8 East, 5 West on WGN America.
This is the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show, brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Chevrolet, official sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
So for the first time this year, the Cubs are 23 games over 500, 69 up, 46 down. And here at Wrigley Field, they're now 43-16. Well-deserved off day coming up tomorrow, and the Cubs ended up going 12-8 during this grueling stretch.
I think if you'd asked Lou Piniella before this grueling stretch started, would you take those kind of numbers? Absolutely. Every manager looks for that tough section of your schedule, and this was it for the Cubs.
Some big home runs in this ballgame. Carlos Lee gave the Astros the lead 4-1 going to the bottom of the 3rd inning, but then Mark DeRosa with a grand slam, his 2nd grand slam of the season, putting the Cubs back on top. A little later in that inning, Jason Marquis with an RBI double. That went over Hunter Pence. Cubs were not done. Alfonso Soriano with a 3-run blast. And that seemed to put the game out of reach. The Cubs would add a couple more runs in the 4th inning. The Astros would not score the rest of the day. The final out recorded by Jeff Samardzija as Kaz Matsui fouls out to Alfonso Soriano. Cubs win 11-4 the final, and we'll be back with a final word from Wrigley Field.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show is brought to you in part by Culver's. Bright smiles, fresh, juicy butter burgers, and velvety smooth frozen custard. Come on into Culver's and get Culverized.
It doesn't come on a plate. You don't eat it with a fork. And you taste it with all 5 senses. Denny's new sizzling breakfast skillets. Now breakfast sizzles all day long.
If you think all batteries are the same, consider this. It was a beautiful day in the park.
Kevin, can you hand me
that turned to panic in an instant. And everything depended on a brick house child locator.
Kevin!
And packed inside every locator is the only battery brick house trusts. Duracell. So even if you hope you'll never have to use it, it still has to work. Duracell. Trusted everywhere.
Is it mathematically possible that such a huge treat is just $2.49? If I only had a brain. The Peanut Buster Parfait from Dairy Queen. Creamy DQ soft serve, crunchy peanuts, and hot fudge for just $2.49.
Join the Night Watchman as he secures the fortress in an ongoing quest to keep it safe from mediocre television. Travel deep down to the movie underground to screen another movie mind fresh from the vault.
This Friday, we got Sly out for revenge in the remake of Get Carter.
My name is Jack Carter, and you don't want to know me.
Enter the movie underground Friday night at 8 East 5 West right here on WGN America.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show has been brought to you in part by Culver's. Bright smiles, fresh, juicy butter burgers, and velvety smooth frozen custard. Come on into Culver's and get Culverized.
Time to check out our Culver's sweet defensive play of the game. Humberto Quintero lining in the third. Tried to get it over Kosuke, but a nice leaping running catch. Thank you, Culver's. Come into Culver's and get Culverized. Cubs beat the Astros 11-4, the final. By the way, Lou, in his post-game comments, clarified the trip to the mound and the double switch. He said he's looked at the rule book. It was his first trip to the mound. That's why he said he was allowed to go to the mound and then make the double switch. So now we know. Rich Harden against Chuck James coming up Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central Time. That's when we'll greet you next. Enjoy your weekend. Cardinals coming in on Friday. We'll see you next Tuesday here on WGN.